Just a test here. Chat, can I get a heads up? Can you guys hear all this perfect? Are we coming through loud and clear? Perfect. That's the yes I want to see. We'll be back in 12 minutes. I am so excited. Here we go. Hey everyone, I'm Rambo Az, and I'm your co-commissioner for the Firetail League. Let me take this time to explain what we have in store. We have 6 teams comprised of 36 AUNZ players, all competing for a $1,000 prize pool. The regular season will run over 5 weeks in a round-robin format. Each team will play each other only once, which means you've got to make the most of every match. At the conclusion of the round-robin, 2nd and 3rd will face off for the right to challenge first in the grand final. This is where the best of the best will take each other on to finally determine the winner of the inaugural Firetail League. Each match begins with a turf war. Win that, and your team chooses the first game mode for set 1. The match consists of 3 sets of 3 games. The winner will be the team that wins 2 sets, but regardless of when that happens, all 9 will be played out. This means every game is super important if you want to make it to the finals. Each week, the top players will be voted on by the viewers, the winners taking home some Asus ROG swag. Voters have the chance to win an Asus ROG Go wireless headset with USB connection, perfect for the Switch. Hello everyone and welcome to the Firetail event, Firetail League. I am Rambo Az and
I'm Checkers.
And we have a huge amount in store for you.
This is incredibly exciting.
I can't believe it's actually happening.
We've been waiting so long to get this actually underway.
We're waiting 15 minutes just then.
Oh, yeah.
Just try to look at the screen.
That was painful enough.
It was. We couldn't even hear the bangers. How good were those bangers? I could listen to that all day.
Yeah, amazing work by Shetty on those ones.
All right, guys. Let's run through the Firetail League. Look, we thought this was a good idea. We were wondering what we should run next. We've been running tournaments for the last year now. In Splatoon 2, we've started with some local events. We went through to the Firetail Invasion, which was a more of an international, brought the NA audience on board. They loved it. And then so we thought, well, you know, what's next? Yeah,
and a couple of sports tragics and obviously video game tragics, as we are. One night we played local basketball together, and one night at basketball, driving home, and said, why don't we mix the two, create a league, make it as close to a professional sports league as we can, something even like the Overwatch League that sort of inspired this idea, and we've sort of run with it, apart from us being a little bit hesitant at the start.
Yeah, well, there's 2 of us, right? Yeah. Checkers, I'm driving home and I get a call from Checkers and he's like, hey man, let's do a league. We can do this. There's only 2 of us, right? And I proceeded to list off all the things that were required for a league. The production values, the people, the players, what's in it for us, what's in it for the viewers, what's in it for the players. There was just so many different things, not to mention stats, not to mention, there was a smorgasbord of stuff. So I just said no. I just told him, not going to happen.
Yeah, it took a little while to convince you, didn't it?
Yeah.
Then just every week at basketball, I was like, hey, how about that idea?
And we built on it. Look, it wasn't easy. We started by getting off some sponsors, getting on board some sponsors actually, and that was that's hard. Esports isn't an endemic thing to a lot of companies.
No, that's right.
And we had to get the sponsors that made sense to us as well.
Definitely. So why don't you give us a little bit of rundown on how you did it, what you did,
so
who we got?
We got 4 sponsors in the end. I contacted a few of our different gaming providers because I wanted some cool-ass tech for Splatoon players. But I noticed Asus was the only one who released a headset that was wireless, and that would actually work with our Switch because a lot of stuff was all PC-oriented, right?
Yep.
So got on the horn with them. You know how it is. Just call them up.
The old rotary phone.
And yeah, so that was a back and forth between APAC, Asus Australia, and they really enjoyed my pitch and what we had. And then so they're giving us an Asus Wireless Go headset that we're going to be able to give to one of our viewers, actually. So that's a $300 headset, I think, $300. So that's going to be amazing for whoever wins that. And they've also given us some swag to give away.
Have they ever?
They have.
Let me reach into this box and...
So each week...
No, sorry, you go ahead.
Every week, all the plays of the week. We're going to compilate them together, and then our Twitter viewers are going to vote for which is the best.
Yeah, and that'll give them entries into that for that Go headset.
Every vote is an entry in for the headset,
and then the winner of the Player of the Week will win some swag here.
Yes.
One example.
What swag you got for us?
Look at this.
Woo!
And can I say it's the softest pillow I've ever touched.
It is.
It's amazing.
Cheers, RG. Great. So from there, we thought, great, there's some prizes, but what is everyone going to wear?
Oh,
what's everyone going to get dressed up in?
You got to look good.
You got to look great,
right? And I've learned that from you. The amount of time and effort you put into your hair, into your facial treatments, all these things. I haven't quite picked up on all of them, but I have worn a shirt today. So
you've worn a shirt. It's better, and you haven't got your pants on, but that's all right. At least you wore a shirt.
If it's below the desk, it doesn't matter.
That's right. So we contacted Struddies. They were WA or Australia-wide custom esports or custom sports jerseys.
Look at these things. They're lovely.
And that started on the journey of us trying to organise 36 players who could help pay for the jerseys as well. Even if you don't win, you actually get a prize.
Yeah, you're still walking away with an amazing jersey.
Right, and all of these have their names on the back as well.
They do, yes. And they can wear them to LANs, they can wear them anywhere.
Yeah.
And we want to see them out and about. They're really nice. They're really comfortable.
They're really, really quite nice, yeah. So we're moving on. We got our ATAR support. We needed an education partner.
We do. We definitely need some
education. So they run atarsupport.com.au, and they run online revision courses for ATAR, which is the Australian Tertiary Admission Rank, which is an Australian-based. It is your final exams before it's what the universities use to grade you to see if you get into the courses or not. So there's a bunch of revision courses in there. All the players who are playing in here have access to it. We've hooked them up with some codes.
I saw a lot of people getting excited about maths in there.
Absolutely, right? I know.
Kids these days and their maths. It was really good to see.
Yeah, exactly, right? And we want a positive relationship between education and video games. We don't want people thinking that if they play video games, they're doing that at risk of losing a proper education. So that's there for that. Please give it a check out as well. And our final sponsor, other side there is Node One. Node One Internet is a local ISP in WA, and they have fixed wireless speeds that are actually faster than our NBN speeds. So they're crazy. If you have access in WA, to go see them or to go, at least go on their website and see what they can do in your area. But they ponied up some prize money along with ATAR support to make a $1,000 prize pool for the winner.
For the winner. Yep.
For the winner. So what does that roughly translate to about?
I think it was about $167, something like that. We should ask the people who are doing the maths, ATAR.
Yeah, exactly. Put that in
revision.
there. If you win first in a Firetail, then what is that?
So, a good prize. And as you said, they've already got the jerseys.
Yeah, that's it.
Walk away with that amount of money.
Yeah, man, that's a cherry. That's more than a cherry. That's the whole cake.
If outside of the Nintendo-sponsored tournaments in AUNZ, you wouldn't see a prize like that anywhere else.
And that's what we wanted. Literally, I think we have made one of the best, if not the biggest, outside of Nintendo-endorsed events.
Definitely.
Well, we didn't think we could do it, the two of us.
No, we'll see if we can. I mean, we're less than an hour away from the first game, so
we needed like a heist montage to actually recruit a team.
Yeah.
So that started, and we got some great minds at Ocean Inc. who have come help us. We have Hess, who helps us with all of our back-end work and runs the Octals, the Firetail Octos League, which is our Discord matchmaking bot.
Yep. And he'll also be streaming some of the games for us.
He will be, yes.
You'll see him on tomorrow's telecast, I
guess
you call it.
Yes, that's it. We have Alicat, who has helped us with these beautiful stream overlays, which you will see throughout.
Amazing.
Perfect as always, thank you.
And also the most perfect Drake meme that I've ever seen on Twitter.
Oh, yes, I know,
and
flaming.
Completely unexpected. But
thank you
beautiful.
for that. Yes, no, beautiful. We have it was Gabby, and we have some TOs who are looking after the day-to-day runnings or the counter picks and bans.
Yeah, and we'll get into that a little bit later on.
We will.
Very exciting strategy coming to this league.
Oh, great stuff. And then we have our commentators. So Yasone, Gabe,
and Calamar Cat.
Who are helping us out when we can't commentate ourselves because it's a lot of time to be put into this. And we have a weekly schedule that we're running through as well. So today we have a game.
We do.
One game
every Saturday.
The great game. Tomorrow on Sunday we'll have 2 games that start off at 11 a.m. AEST.
Yeah, so tune in probably about 15 minutes, half an hour before that. We'll have a little breakdown before the game.
Yep.
And then, game starts at 11.
Yep. Then we go into a FLC is going to break down our games.
Yeah, very excited to see what comes out of that.
So his expert analysis and stuff that we can never hope to do live, he will break down what were the key points within that game. So you can join Firetail stream on Tuesdays for that.
Tuesdays 8 p.m. AEST for that one.
Mm-hmm. And then we have an interview with the team, with 2 team players from each team each week, where we'll play Splatoon League with them.
Yes. They'll have to put up with playing with us too. That's
it. They'll have to carry us and tell us all their secrets and how the Firetail League's treating them.
Yep. And again, I think that would be 8 p.m. AST on Thursdays.
Okay, great. And then that leads back into our Friday. We'll have some articles and some other content popping up around there, which will roll back into our next week of games. So this league is going to run for 5 weeks.
Yeah, regular season 5 weeks.
And that's going to be a round robin.
Yeah, each team playing each other team at once.
Mm-hmm.
So really important to win. And I think I don't want to get into the first week too soon, but getting that first win is going to be hugely important, especially when everyone's still trying to figure things out.
You only get to verse each other once.
Yeah,
so you don't have time to warm up. You don't have time to gel.
You don't know what that team, or at least for the first round, you don't know what that team's strengths and weaknesses necessarily are.
What they're going to bring, what modes they're going to pick.
What maps they're going to pick.
Oh,
you don't know anything.
So much strategy going on here. Checkers, how did we do this?
Right, so we went for the set play as our format.
Set play.
So each match will have 3 sets.
I'm going to run you guys over to the the map list screen.
Yeah.
So we can talk over how a match is going to be broken down. So what does it start off with?
Oh, it starts off with a turf war,
which we've yep.
And it'll be a Splatfest turf war because we just want to spice it up a little.
That's it.
And we're calling this our play for service.
Okay.
So essentially, the winner of the turf war is going to get to decide what mode that first set is played. So they can choose from any of the 4 ranked modes. Okay,
and the 4 ranked modes are Clam Blitz, Tower Control, Rainmaker, and Splat Zones.
Correct. So then there's banning, right? So we introduced banning into our tournament here.
Why do we introduce banning?
That's another level of strategy, right? So I know that this team is good on short maps. So I'm going to ban some of the short maps. Or they've got a lot of long-range players, or,
Yeah, they can set up certain traps in areas of this map, so... Yeah.
Or I just don't want to play that map, so I'm going to ban it.
Yeah, it's our weakness. Yeah, correct. Sure. Okay.
So that adds that level of strategy and is gaming the other team a little bit. So each team will ban 1 map from the map pool, and then the team that lost turf war will pick the first map. Then you sort of run through the rest of the match. Each time the team loses, they'll pick the next map. Loser of the first set will pick the mode for the second set, and so on. So a lot of sort of strategy there, and it's whichever team wins 2 sets. But you are going to see 9 games of ranked mode Splatoon regardless.
There will be 9 games today and every week in our regular season.
Yeah, it's so important because not only will winning the whole match count towards your scoreboard, but also how many games you win, how many sets you win. It all could come down if you end up in a tie-break situation.
There's only 6 teams. There can only be so many different win-loss combinations, so it's really going to come down to the individual games that were won.
Correct. And it also has a large implication on individuals who are looking to, get all-star selections, get MVPs, get recognition for the job they're doing.
That's it. That's right.
So the more Splatoon we watch, the better.
Yeah, right. And we have a minimum player requirement that makes sure each player gets even rotation throughout this season. The talent has been spread amongst these 6 teams. Just to point out, they didn't pick the teams. They all joined in individually, and we selected the teams to spread the skill and the positioning the best we could. But these guys didn't know what they were playing against. They didn't know who their teammates were going to be.
No, and I know they've been doing a lot of work together, trying to work out what works for them, what holes they have, who can play what weapon, who can like flex to something maybe they don't always play to help out the team. So it's good that we announced the teams quite a while ago now because they definitely needed to get all their ducks in a row.
Yeah, no, agreed. And look, the team, I think the winner of this league is not going to be the team that has the strongest players, but who has gelled the best together in this short amount of time to produce the best results.
Yeah, they need to gel well together. They need to work out the strategy and also study the other teams. So there's a lot more than just turning up and playing a few games of Splatoon to this one, I think.
That's right. Absolutely. So what I want to run through next is introduce our 6 teams that we have here.
And our 36 AUNZ players before we start, I just want to say a big thank you to all the players.
Yes.
They've committed.
Thank you.
They've committed to this as well. They've put forward their money and they're doing their best to try and win the main prize. And we can't thank you enough for your support through this. We couldn't have done it without the players, obviously.
We couldn't. No way. So we'll start off with Adelaide Revenge. Hey?
Yes. I guess we'll just run through the team first quickly. We got Biscuit, we got Bob Ghost, Cozy, Oladius, Liam, and Yoshiko.
So what I see from the Adelaide Revenge is we've given them some front lines, but I think their midline and their back line is their strongest point. We have Biscuit, Ladius, and Yoshiko, who are very... Biscuit, Ladius...
Biscuit and Ladius are going to be their key backliners there.
Right,
right. Yosh obviously used to and can probably flex to whatever she needs to.
Absolutely. One of the best players in the Australian scene.
Definitely. But yeah, and then we talk about their sort of support line. Bob Ghost, one of the best to do it. Cozy, great as well.
Exactly.
Weapons. So
it was actually changed between a front line to a bit more of a midline now as well.
Yeah, and I think it's they've got Liam there as well, who's going to be the frontline player and just needs that support from them. And I think you're going to find that Yosh really needs to play an aggressive frontline weapon, like a splatter shot variant or something like that, to get this team to sort of work the way they need to.
Right, to provide enough range for their Ladius and Biscuit to clean up in that back line.
Yeah, because they need that. They just need that frontline killing power, which I think Yosh will be able to provide.
Right. It'll be interesting to see who are they versing first? Who Adelaide versing first?
I mean, they've got the Brisbane Boom, so we might as well just stick
straight to the Boom. To Here we go. So the Brisbane Boom is comprised of JSOD, Murray, Neru, Alzi, Ray25, and Will. I think that's Will.
W.
In the Australian, we say W. So look, this team is full of superstars as well. I really think the combination of Alzi, Neru, and Murray together is a holy trinity, and these guys are who I think will take out the league. Between the Neru being backline, Murray being midline, and Alzi being frontline, but all of them can kind of flex a little bit around their range there.
A little bit. That would be my only concern with this team, as to whether they're a little bit predictable in their comps.
Right. But they got a great supporting cast as well. Ray25, who hasn't had much, he is one of the 3 brothers.
Yes.
Which you'll see the other 2 Rays. They're all hailing from New Zealand, so thank you very much for playing from New Zealand. He's relatively unknown, been playing around and stuff like that, but I've heard it from the inside that he's a little pocket rocket. Yeah,
I think he's only young as well, so maybe a fresh face for the scene here. And I've heard the same things, that he could shake it up and surprise a few people. So
absolutely, and JSOD with his moustache.
Yeah, That was a lovely photo.
What a beautiful photo.
Alluring.
If you haven't seen it, he is a man with...
He has many leather-bound books.
It looks like he's from the original Anchorman, for sure. Great. So we move on to our next team, the Melbourne Maelstrom, who we are talking about today. We'll go deeper into their comp a little bit later, but we'll run through who they have. So Silaris, Goizord, Lobster, Loose Goose, Pit Viper, and Shockwave. These guys have the longest names out of anyone in the Firetail League.
Almost broke the character limit on the page here.
Yeah, and on the back of their shirts as well.
Yeah.
So that's good. I'm glad it wasn't loose, like very Loose Goose or something like that.
Shock's got a few E's running down his shoulder.
What I see here is we don't see, there's a midline and backline based team. We don't have a lot of frontline in here, but we have a lot of skill going into that mid and backline.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think this team is actually quite saturated in skill, but they might not have that frontline that some other teams have.
Yeah, it's whether they can get those comps working. And if you might even see, again, someone like Shockwave who's just very talented, as far as mechanics and stuff go, just pick up a different weapon we haven't seen him play as much, and do something a bit more frontline based.
Yeah.
Especially if you have someone like a Pit, who can take over that backline role for them. It might free Shock up a little bit.
Yeah, that's it. And Silaris, I don't know what weapon they're going to play. It's a mystery.
A myriad of weapons that they could choose for sure.
A myriad of weapon. Where we will probably see the long range blaster come out from Silaris.
Yeah, and that's going to be their challenge. How they adapt to that midline backline,
because it's got great killing power, it has great presence, and it has great distancing tools. And I know that the Silaris is a great player with that weapon. It's unconventional and it doesn't paint.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so it's a
team effort.
It's about working as a team, I think, with this.
Right, we won't go too much deeper than that.
Yeah, we don't want to take up our chat for the rest of the show.
Match breakdown. All right, we go on to the New Zealand Rush next, who we have Kaz Griffin with an I. Matthew Magooge, MGJ, Ray 13, and Slook. So this team here, for me, is a little bit of unknown.
Yeah,
I don't know how they're going to go here, but I know that they have some strong people, some strong players inside here.
Well, you got to start with Slook, the captain of Untitled Splatoon team that took out Division 1 in Ocean Inc.
Right.
A hell of a player. Really great on the ballpoint and even CDS.
Yeah, and the owner, the originator of the Slook Duke.
Oh, yes.
Right? Watch out for those Rainmaker carries.
And then Magooge, MGJ, Ness, he and Ray 13 both play for Surgeon Turf, so a little bit of synergy benefit from there. I think I haven't heard too much about these guys. I know they went to the finals of the Splat Zone Open last night, but went down to their opponents this week, Perth Fury.
Oh, no way. Okay, great.
But I've seen some really good results from them, and I know they've been practicing. So I wouldn't be surprised that they surprise a few teams, because, I haven't really, in our prediction stuff, we didn't hear too much about them. But there's a lot of good players on that team. Yeah,
I'll be watching tomorrow for sure. The Perth Fury, the
Perth Poggers.
The Perth Poggers. We have Link, Perks, River, Ray 41, Shades, Kate. So, once again, that team really leading with the River and Perks, who have the most experience out of the six of them there, playing in high tier play.
Yep.
But I don't think any of I can't spot a weak player in that team.
No, definitely not. And that's the case with most of these teams. But,
yeah.
When I look at Perth, I really think Link is the key.
Yeah?
If he's not the weakest link, then I think he could surprise... it's not even a surprise. He's a great player, but his flexibility, the different roles he can play, I think could really propel Perth forward here.
Yeah.
If you we talked about X Factors in our predictions article on our website, firetailevents.com. But
go there later. Stay on the stream now.
But yeah, I really think that Link could be the key here.
Yeah, no, agreed, absolutely. And our final team, the Sydney Endeavour, the other team who we're looking at today, comprised of Cookie, Geo, Xylem, Low 247, Nereza, and Skidder.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of talent on this team. Obviously led by Gio, who I think is probably the best player in the league.
I'm not going to argue against that.
I picked him to take out MVP. And Gio has been involved in a lot of our Firetail events. So if you go back to Firetail All-Stars, which was our sort of State of Origin style tournament, Gio was on the Melbourne Victorian team that won that.
Mm-hmm.
Firetail Invasion.
Mm-hmm.
Gio played with Dr. Prodigy's team.
Ah.
Gio won that.
Yeah. Ooh, so there's a theme.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The Australian fast bowler is about to take a hat-trick.
But now that there's actually some dollars on the line, I wonder if he's up to the task.
Well, we'll see. But in that front line, really supported by Skidder, who is incredibly hard to hit.
Gio and Skidder is a scary front line. I think that is the scariest front line out of all 6 teams here.
I agree. And it's really going to be up to the rest of their team to sort of keep up with them because they're going to be quite fast-paced. So the likes of, Cookie, Silem, Low, they're going to have to keep up in that sort of midline area. And then they've obviously got Nereza there to provide that backline support as well.
Right, and I just want to take one more second here to say happy birthday, Skidder.
Oh, yes.
It's Skidder's birthday. Hopefully they can take home a W.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a good way to celebrate, isn't it?
It is, absolutely. We won't keep you long. Thank you for playing on your birthday.
Where else would you be on your birthday, though?
Right, exactly. So, that brings us to the match breakdown.
Yes.
But we'd like to take a quick break here.
Yep.
We will come back closer to in about 18 minutes when the game starts. A little bit before that?
No, let's... maybe we'll just go straight through the match breakdown. And then we'll have a short break between that and the start of the game.
Sounds
Rather
good.
than breaking now. Let's just get into it.
All right. So, these 2 teams, as we've discussed previously, we have a Melbourne Maelstrom, which is a strong midline and backline. Don't have a lot of that frontline presence. Versing that Sydney Endeavour, who have that frontline presence and need people to keep up with them. So, what do you think are the keys to each of these teams winning? Let's start with Melbourne.
Yeah, so the checkers keys to the game for Melbourne.
Segment pending.
So we've talked about it a little bit already, but Melbourne really need to slow down that front line of Gio and Skidder in particular. So I think if they can sort of, and I'm going to get into the next point, but they just need to keep that space between them and Sydney. And I think if they can sort of control the turf a little bit, that's going to sort of slow down Gio and Skidder. They also might be able to potentially separate them from the team a little bit. So if they can look for times where Gio and Skidder maybe have gotten a little bit ahead of themselves, or the midline of Sydney have not kept up, and if they can pick 1 or 2 people off, then they can start their push. So I think that I really think Melbourne's going to have to be patient and time their pushes at the right time, I guess. Yeah,
I agree. And some of the pushes that these guys, these overly aggressive guys that are running at 100 miles an hour, all right, they get the kills. Then what? If that back line, or if the rest of the other 2 aren't there to, push objective, aren't there to cap, aren't there to collect clams, aren't there to support with their specials, then what are the kills for? Yep. We often talk about kills not for the sake of killing, but to increase objectives. And it's something that I've struggled with as a Splatoon player for forever, right? And you're hoping the quality of these teams and the leadership that comes from, people like Shock and Gio and the high level players will translate to telling the rest of the team, hey, look, when I do something, you got to keep coming. You got to follow us, because that's going to break down the entire attack and leave them open.
Yep. So the second point I've got here, we've touched on it. Obviously, they need to be 100% on their space and positioning.
Melbourne, right?
Melbourne, yeah. So especially someone like Solaris who's playing that range blaster, getting that positioning, the spacing right is imperative. So really something that a midline heavy team is going to have to be wary of.
Yeah, I agree. And a lot of these midline players, if they're fighting at their max range, are going to be fine.
Correct. Yeah.
The chip damage from everyone, and if they're fighting with each other, the chip damage, the range is going to deal with Sydney easily.
And the last point there for Melbourne, they really need to play for each other today. A lot of great players there. Their weapon picks, and it just means that they need to be there to support each other. They don't need to think about their own game. They need to think about the team's game here today.
Yeah,
I think that'll set them apart from the rest of the competition if they can really learn to play together and play for each other and I guess enable each other to perform at their best.
Right, I agree. Yeah, there's a lot of people who need some turf in this comp. So people like Lobster and Pit Viper need to be laying down that turf for Loose Goose and for Solaris as well.
Yeah.
And if they're getting picked off, if they're not positioning themselves right, and if they're not supporting the way they should, then that's not going to happen.
And you've segued brilliantly into my first point for the Sydney Endeavour today.
What do they need to do to win, Jackers?
They need to control the turf.
What are the keys of the game? Turf.
Yeah, they need turf. So,
all right.
And I don't think that's going to be a tough ask. I mean, they've got Low, they've got Silem, who play turf-heavy weapons, but if they can control that turf, that's going to make it very difficult for Solaris on the range blaster, and even Loose Goose if he was looking to play like a carbon roller or something like that.
Right.
They really need that turf, so to limit those two players especially.
Absolutely. No, I agreed with that.
And so their second key of the game, it's to get the contributions from that support. So those players like Low, Silent, Cookie, we know what Geo and Skidder can do, but it's really up to those midliners for the Endeavour to come to the party today, to Skidder's birthday party, and really support those two frontliners and do the objective-based things that they need to get the wins
at the speed in which they need to do it as well.
Correct.
Right. We've played a lot with Low 247. We know he's an objective-heavy player. Yep. So I think that's actually a really good complement for their frontline that they have.
Definitely.
And I don't think he'll have an issue with that. But he's one player. If he's down and if he's not playing, if he can't stay on tower, if he hasn't got the weapon to paint the zone, then he's going to get frustrated that his teammates aren't as objective focused as he is trying to get that capitalization on when Geo and Skidder are getting some of these kills.
Yeah. And I mean, Melbourne know what Geo and Skidder are going to do.
Absolutely. They're going to get rushed down. But
if they can try and make someone else on that Sydney team beat them, then they might be successful. And if they can, even if they pick off those support players, that might be the difference as well.
Right. Yeah. Look, there's no surprise. Melbourne, it's no surprise to Melbourne that the aggressiveness that comes out of Sydney Endeavour is going to happen. They've played with them. They know these players. They've scrimmed against them. They know all this is going to happen. It comes down to game day and each individual game being as important as the last to make sure they kind of keep that out, keep those players out.
Yep. And then, I mean, again, we've touched on it all through this lead-in, but Sydney need to take advantage of that, I guess, for a better word, limited Melbourne frontline. So, so it really is on them to play at a fast pace, get up in Melbourne's faces and take them on. Right.
No, absolutely. I agree. Really what comes down to here is what maps they're going to pick, what modes they're going to pick. What's your prediction for the first mode?
For modes? Well, it's obviously going to depend on who wins the turf war. I want to say that Sydney would be suited to Rainmaker, but just because of that, the pace that I think that they're going to need to play at. But I know that potentially they'd struggled in Rainmaker previously.
I've heard similar rumblings.
We've heard a few things.
Mm-hmm.
On paper, that's what I would think they'd pick. Melbourne, I'd be thinking more like a tower control, something a little bit slower.
Right.
And that's obviously going to help them, with, say, blasters and stuff like that. I think tower control would be my pick as Melbourne.
So which team do you think isn't going to pick Clan Blitz? It would be a bold move for a team to pick Clan Blitz this early into... they've been playing with each other a lot, and they've been playing through all the modes and stuff like that. But to be coherent with a bunch of strangers who hopefully are now teammates in Clan Blitz is a bold move.
It is, and I'm looking there, and I'm not quite sure which of them would be better suited to Clan Blitz. It's a tough one. But I guess there's a few, like, if we go away from the modes slightly, if we look at the matchups, I mean, there's some exciting head-to-heads. I mean, I'm really looking forward to Lobster and Low going at it. That's why I'm a little bit hoping for Rainmaker, because I want to see some Blob-Lobbers come out. those two...
Big dogs on the Lob-Lobs,
yeah.
The Blob-Lobs.
Never quite got them to do a 1v1 on the Blob, but that would be exciting to see. And I'm also excited to see how Shockwave and Geo go playing against each other.
Yes, they've been playing on the same team. Yeah,
for
exactly.
Years, so they know each other's games inside and out. So we'll see who can give them the best insight to the rest of their team. Yeah, great, cool. So that's our match breakdown. We've got another 9 minutes. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to come back in 9 minutes to start off with our turf war, hey? Yeah, and I believe we have a little video for you. Who's it from? Is it from some special guests? Yeah, we got some special guests, people who've supported us in the past. Yeah, we're kind of special. They've got some messages for our competitors and our viewers, so we'll go to that, and then we'll see you back here in about 8 minutes, try and get this thing underway. Sounds good. All right, see you guys soon.
Hey everybody, Milana here. For those of you who don't know me, I'm one of the biggest fans of the Splatoon competitors down in the Australia-New Zealand region. You all are really, really great. Best of luck to all of the competitors participating in the Firetail League, and I'll be watching you play your best game. I'm looking forward to seeing which players are going to come out on top. I hope you all have fun, and be sure to always stay fresh.
Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Prodigy, and I'm looking forward to watching the Firetail League next month, featuring some of the top Australian and New Zealand players. Special shoutouts to the Firetail Invasion champions and my former teammates, Ness, Geo, Solaris, kick some butt.
What's up, friends, far and wide across the expanse of the earth? It's your girl, Miss Click. Just wanted to say good luck to all the players competing in the inaugural Firetail League. Such an exciting time for the Splatoon community. So thank you for being here and helping make this community what it is. Also, huge shout out to the Firetail events team. I see you and I appreciate all the hard work. Players, make sure any chance you get to thank the team for making this happen, because it's such a cool event. I hope you learn lots, hope you have lots of fun, make lots of memories. We will see you on the other side. Until then, good luck and have fun.
Hello to all my AU friends out there on the other side of the world. You guys are upside down for me and I'm upside down for you, but just wanted to say good luck out there in the Firetail Event League. It's going to be a great time. I'm looking forward to watching you guys' games. I noticed on Twitter that you guys got some really, really sick jerseys, and I honestly just going to say, you guys are so lucky. You guys are so lucky. And just give, a big shout out to the Firetail event organizers for just putting something like this all together, because they're doing an amazing job for you guys, and you guys are really lucky and fortunate to have people like that love this game, quite like me as well. So good luck out there and have some good games out there.
All right, guys, and we are back. We have the turf war. Turf war to get started up with.
Yeah, and week 1 you'll see the map is the ink is spreading.
Ooh, we start with a splat.
Yes, I think
Splatfest.
Splatfest. Yes, I'm pretty sure the middle section of the map there's a big ink spreader, and so if you paint that your color, it will then capture the map for you. So,
all right, cool. I think Melbourne's going to take this. I think they're going to take out the turf war. Yeah.
Well, let's get the lobby going, but let's also have a look at who the teams have put in.
Oh yes, absolutely.
So on the Melbourne team, we have Pit Viper.
Yep.
Loose Goose.
Okay.
Goy.
Yes.
And Lobster. So
okay, that sounds like the best painting 4 I've seen.
Correct. And then on the Endeavour, we have Skitter, Geo, Cookie, and Low 247.
Great. Okay. Cookie, Low.
So I feel.
Yep, they've kept Nereza out. That makes sense. He's their backline. Don't need him for.
Asylum is the other one that's
and take
on the bench at the moment.
The burst bomb bench. All right.
But maybe you've gone with slightly more kill power. So we'll see how that. You can't paint if you're dead.
You can't paint if you're dead. That's
checkers keys to the game. So yeah, I think that's going to be interesting to see that they've gone for different strategies here. One's very paint heavy. One, obviously they can paint, but maybe their kill power is slightly stronger. But all the teams getting sorted. We're just waiting for one more player to ready up.
And
we're
then
not
we're gonna...
far away from the first ever game, whatever you want to call it. Ever. Oh, we heard the noise.
We heard the ding. That's it. We're ready to go. Let's get into this. All right, guys. The Firetail League. This is the inaugural beginning of the Firetail League.
Got Melbourne in red, Sydney in blue.
Let's get on. All right, so they're going to start off, usually they head straight into the middle of the map, right? They try and get the first key picks, and then as you die, you kind of come back into the map, and you clean up the other stuff that you needed to.
Yeah, if you can take control of the mid first, then as you respawn, it just gets painted for you. And often, I know a lot of teams choose to just go forward, and then whoever dies first comes through and cleans up.
Yeah. So Pitt's going to probably stay up here for the majority of this. These missiles are going to be pushing him back, but he's just going to be kind of holding where he can, keeping that middle painted. It's almost like a zones map inside a turf war.
It is, and that's partly why we chose to use the Splatfest maps. A little bit more interesting. Little objectives within objectives, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Now, good choice. That was Checker's idea for everyone. I was fine for normal turf war. I've gone back and trying to clear up one of the previous pads. 2 people have been down in the middle, and Explosher is trying to take on 2 L3s. Skitter managing to take down 2 people down now for Melbourne Maelstrom. Skitter getting a feel for someone on the right-hand side there. Can't quite get the kill. Doesn't need to, though. We talk about killing for objective. They're not doing much back there.
No, that's right. And interesting to see Skitter on the Explosher here.
Right.
Not a usual pick.
I've been hearing a lot of things about that Skitter's been playing a few different weapons outside of the legendary Tetras that we're used to seeing them in.
So Sydney really just holding them back there, making sure they have control of the ink spreaders, and it's looking pretty good. A few specials come out now from Melbourne, and they're taking control of mid now.
They are. They're starting to take control. They've pushed Low and Skitter who have to move back.
Geo
is taking a fight further into their base. He's got 4 squids around him, but decides to push forward anyway.
Yeah, maybe a bit of a distraction here. Let the rest of the team try and clean up the middle, but Melbourne doing a really good job of getting some picks here.
Oh, takes out Lobster. Lobster unaware. Geo coming back from behind from what was their spawn. 3 of them now down. The last 30 seconds, which people say is the... Ooh, Geo taking a... Ooh. You hate to see it. Stratty's instant replay right here. Instant, as soon as he pops that inkjet, and I think they're going to see a lot of this, just taken out straight away.
Yeah, Geo one of the best on the inkjet. And Sydney have absolutely taken control of this map.
Right, this looks like a very Sydney side, and they're going to pick the first map and mode of the league.
Yes, and can always claim to have won the first ever match.
They can. That's theirs.
Look at that, very dominant performance.
That's going to look like a 60%er, I think. 68.6%. We were 0.4% from greatness.
From nice.
From nice. Nice. So well done, everyone. You can see the paint numbers coming out from Sydney, doubling that. Melbourne will have to take some stock and figure out what's going on first.
Yeah, we talked about that killing power, and that was obvious there through Geo and Cookie both getting some high KA numbers there. So shows maybe something for the rest of the teams that it's not always about how much your weapon can paint.
So now what will happen is the TO is talking to the teams, and they are figuring out what mode is being selected.
Yeah, so it's coming through quick, which I really like.
Awesome.
So will we start off with Splat Zones?
Splat Zones, all right. And what's our first map?
So that might take a little bit longer.
Okay, all right. Because what happens in this, we have a map pool, right, which we'll release shortly. The players all know what the maps are.
Yeah. Maybe we'll go through the map pool for Splat Zones.
What have we got for Splat Zones? Yeah.
So in alphabetical order, Blackbelly Skate Park, Camp Triggerfish, Gobi Arena, Humpback Pump Track, Kelp Dome, Moray Towers for our longer range players, Piranha Pit, Schellendorf Institute, Snapper Canal, and The Reef.
There seems like there's a lot of varied maps in there.
Yeah, and so Sydney's obviously won the turf war. They get to choose the mode. Mm-hmm. They pick Splat Zones. Now the banning happens. So Shockwave, as the captain today of Melbourne, has just put in his ban of Moray Towers. So they won't be able to choose Moray Towers. And we're just waiting for the Sydney ban.
So Moray Towers is out, everyone.
So just a little bit of strategy going on here. So might take us slightly longer to get into game than some of our other tournaments. But
we've seen a sub already. Shockwave has taken a step in, and do you know who took a step out?
I can certainly tell you, maybe. It looks like Loose Goose.
Loose Goose
has been subbed out.
All right. As a Splat Zones, that makes sense. Some of his weapons are more for killing and less for painting. And if they want to control that map, then I think Shock is a better choice with his Nautilus in the mid.
And so...
Or his, to match Skitter's Exposure as well.
Yeah. So Sydney have banned The Reef.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting one. I'm not entirely sure why they would have done that, but it is the double zone. Maybe they're worried about bridge control. But we won't get to see The Reef. So it's now just on Melbourne to pick the first map. Okay, so selection is Gobi Arena.
Perfect. Gobi Arena for our first match. And so just to re-explain what's going to happen here is we are going to play all 3 of these maps are going to be Splat Zone. So we're going to start off with Gobi Arena. And then it is going to be 2 more maps played. As soon as someone wins the set, we will still play the extra match if it is a 2-0 in that scenario there. Or if it goes to a 2-1, then we'll move on to the next set as usual anyway.
Apologies. We've just had a little bit of issues with the lobby, so we'll get that back up and sort it.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing like some lobby issues from the beginning of the Firetail League, so that's great. Yes, let's talk about some of the exploits that haven't been patched out yet. So right now we're sitting in a meta of the CDS being a very, and I think we're going to see a few of these come out in our Splat Zone leagues. But there's an exploit that allows the dodge roll to, at the same time as going up a ramp and jumping, you can hit certain areas that are completely inaccessible. You can jump around the map a lot quicker. But I think that everyone kind of knows about them, and if they are going to use them, that people will be aware that they're going to happen, right?
Yeah, I mean,
they don't need to
we only
be.
play the game that's in front of us, right? So
Right.
we can't, I guess, ban any of those things easily.
No.
It's a hard thing to monitor. So
No, and apart from that, the CDS is a great weapon, and it's definitely a meta. It does a lot of things well. It is, having to use an MPU build does stop it from being other things. But it still doesn't make it as dominative as some of the other weapons that we've seen being overpowered in the past.
yeah, and I guess let's talk about Gobi Arena a little bit. It's just a
Gobi Arena Splat Zones.
big pit in the middle there, and
There is.
yeah,
Oh, I see.
you can sit up on sort of the plats and just pepper that zone, but
Yeah, we're going to
Yeah.
see pit in the pit.
yeah, if you go down there, it can be really hard to stay alive. So just want to put pressure on the opposition team's plat and keep them back while the zone ticks down.
Yeah, chances are we'll see some of the more aggressive skirmishes happen in the middle, and they're really going to try and lock down that plat. You're going to see Geo and Skidder, if Skidder is playing frontline, you're going to see them try to pepper that area with bombs, and they're going to get that support from Low as well. If Low is still in, no doubt his junior play will be putting so many bombs on that platform that Pit will need to be tap dancing around if he has any chance of staying alive.
Yeah, and so all the substitutions and everything have taken place. So Melbourne going with Shockwave, Lobster, Pit Flapper, and Boyzord.
Okay.
And Sydney, Geo, Skidder, Low, and Nereza comes in for their first game.
Okay, great. Perfect. So is seeing Nereza, I haven't actually seen a lot of him play with Sydney.
No.
There have been some scheduling issues with Nereza and getting some practice in. He's a great player anyway, and I'm sure he can fit in where he needs to. But he's got a very good backline kit that Gobi Arenas is a great spot for him.
Yeah, obviously played a lot of Splat Charger, but maybe on this map and mode, it might be something else like a ballpoint or something else that can paint a little bit more than the Charger, but
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll prove me wrong.
Commentator's curse. It'll be the opposite of whatever you said. Remember the thing you said? The opposite.
I'm just waiting for one more person ready up, but they've got sort of 5 seconds, so we'll be getting to this match very shortly.
That's a ding. I hear a ding. Let's go for the first map of the Firetail League.
Game 1, set 1.
Game 1, set 1. We have Splat Zones Gobi. We have Melbourne Maelstrom versus the Sydney Endeavour. This is what we've all been waiting for. Thank you very much for tuning into the pre-game show, but this is the main event. We have Skidder coming out in this Tetris. They are not mucking around anymore.
No more explosion there. Time to do some frontline killing.
Instant armor comes out. Skidder's trying to find a way around the left-hand side. Getting pressured from Platt. They know that Skidder is going to be there, and they're trying to get them out.
Yeah, and Sydney take early control there in the purple.
3 of them down. We're going to have to see some of these points down, and hopefully they can recuperate and get another push in.
Yeah, I just see Melbourne holding back a bit, waiting for those two players to respawn and come in together.
Now it's really important here to see some Shock get some aggression going. They've got a lot of paint between them, between the Explosher coming out from... Sorry, the sloshing machine coming out from Goy.
Yep, and interesting that they're running a ballpoint and a Nautilus here.
That counter was from low, so as soon as Shockwave tried to start painting... Oh, and the cancel coming in from Shockwave. What a beautiful cancel. Two more people standing over near side basketball. Unfortunately, Shock couldn't get them. It takes on a 1v1 VGO, but the 2v1 comes out from Sydney. Low can paint a whole zone by himself.
Definitely, with this bomb rush, that's definitely going to help. And Sydney really applying the pressure. Melbourne luckily got that flip, so the penalty's in place, but...
Goy taking out that double with his armor, looking at the triple, manages to get the triple. That's 3 of them down for Melbourne. For Sydney, sorry. Melbourne need to now take this zone. Nereza needs to be throwing out those bombs at double the speed he's doing it. And we see a flip come out. The penalty has been given. 62-39. We're counting down through a penalty from Melbourne Maelstrom.
Yeah, it's back and forth, isn't it? Sydney back in control of the zone.
It is, but this is what we wanted to see. This is good.
It's like the two teams are evenly matched.
It's almost like talent was spread evenly between 36 players. There were 6 teams.
And Shock out with another inkjet.
Oh, unfortunately couldn't protect his team. Skidder getting around the inkjet. I think the inkjet's worst enemy.
Oh, well done, Shock.
The drop roller on that Nautilus, taking out Skidder. Skidder probably not ready for it.
No, you sit there and count the jump and you don't expect them to move, do you?
No, you expect the Julies to move. You don't expect the Nautilus to get on the floor and roll to the side. Oh, taking a lot of damage from these blobs.
And they don't have to go any further forward. They just need to hold them on that flat.
Takes out Nereza. The backline, probably not the only kill you wanted to get. Goy getting the trade there, but that's still Geo taking a 2-on-1, which is a great result for Sydney.
Get it down the bottom left of your screen, putting pressure on the last two alive. So again, we see it flip back and forward, and a really exciting game to get started.
We're approaching the end of this penalty. We're going to be counting down to real points now. Shockwave's got his special ready. He's got a few people looking at him. Nereza taking the shot. If there is no pressure, if the midline can be sitting in the middle of the zone, the rest of Melbourne need to be helping Shock out for that.
Yeah, and we talked about that, the frontline issues. Maybe that's coming to the forefront here, where these backliners can sit right on the zone and just take pot shots at the midline.
That's right. And maybe it was Shock moving forward too fast and just wanting to get back into the zone. Oh, we've had a one stop.
Oh, and they managed to flip it.
And a flip coming out. Beautiful. Well done to the Melbourne Maelstrom. They're going to be painting up here and trying to make sure that Skidder and Geo have a hard time working their way back in.
Yeah, and they're about to go through penalties, so see if they can count down and get down near that one. Like, very lucky stop there to get it before the game was over.
Yeah, Goy about to come out with his... Oh, gets a nice chip damage kill. He has another special. It's important for him to keep this alive because he needs this for the counter push, which is starting right now. Goy's trying to get a few, splashes his feet as he gets around. Goy is really thinking about every movement he's making here meticulously because that slosh mode cannot move. As I say that, a bomb takes him out. Commentator's curse.
He did a really good job of stalling for the rest of his team to come in. They were 2 down for a portion of that when he was there, so good work from Goy.
Now, these Tetras, they're not great for painting, but they are great for killing. Skidder using that 4th dodge roll to dodge. Every single time he'll use 3 to get in and 1 to get out. Lobster's been taken out, does a 2-for-1.
Nice double there from Skidder.
Now we're counting down on this penalty, and after the penalty, there is no more points to count down.
No, and there's only 10 seconds to go as well, so Melbourne really need to get on that zone very quickly. It's looking like Sydney are going to take this one. 5
seconds left. We have yes, there is nothing else that could be done. That was taken out game 1.
They died just at the wrong time and didn't have the chance to get back in. What a match, though. That was fast-paced. I'm exhausted.
I'm already breathless from the first match here. Look, and you can see Shockwave getting plenty of those kills. Geo's getting plenty of those kills, but look at the bomb rushes coming out. There was about 10 bomb rushes coming in from the support of Sydney, and there was only about 4 or 5 coming in from Melbourne.
Yeah, so maybe
So that's Sydney taking the first game, and we're going to talk about the next pick, which will be Melbourne's pick for Splat Zones.
yeah, Melbourne will pick the next map again. But
You know what's such a shame, Checkers?
what is such a shame, Rambo as?
Is-
Tell me.
I looked at all those stats, and all those stats, they were fleeting. I couldn't see them again.
Oh, well, have I got something for you?
Please, Checkers, tell me how I can fix my woes.
So after the match, we will get all the stats uploaded onto our website, firetailevents.com. And you will have kills, assists, death, specials, and then you'll also get some other stats like your kill, assist, death ratio, all the ratios, anything you want is going to be on there. We can give it all to you. So make sure later tonight we'll send out a tweet when it's uploaded, but all those stats will be captured. Each player has their own profile page. Stats are on there. We've given you all that you need.
That's it, and it should be feedback for the teams and give them extra ammunition when fighting the next team. How did they go last week? Where were they strong? What weapons did they play for each of the matches? And, what stats? Who was the standout for each of these game modes? That's going to give them the strategy that they need, partnered with the map choice and the banning and the picking and the selecting of the ranked modes to give them, hopefully, the edge to take out their next game.
Yeah, I feel like the stats pieces are really... it's something that Splatoon hasn't quite done as well as they could, and like you said, it's only a fleeting second that you see it. You don't get to see deaths on there.
That's right.
It's going to be so much more information for our teams to use.
That's it. And everyone wants to know who the top 5 Slayers are. Everyone wants to know who the top 5 Specials are. Maybe less people knowing about that. But the stats are where it's at. So next match has been decided, and we are playing on the Snapper Canal.
Yeah, and potentially they're looking for those bigger, wider maps to help with that, the midline that they've got. A bit more spacing and all those types of things. So interesting pick from Melbourne, and we'll see if it pays off for them.
Right. So the thing with this map is that all the action happens in the middle, but there's a far left side and a far right side for each team that they can choose to hold as a way, an entry point to get back in, or a way to pincer whoever's on the zone, right? And it's a way to get around the back for the snipe here. So it'll be interesting to see, is it going to be a kerfuffle of 4-on-4 all in the middle, or are they going to use those wings to kind of get around the side of the fight? But either way, this kind of zone, you can't just splash down the middle of it like you could with Gobi. This is going to require you to take both sides if you want to cap that zone. Because if you don't have both sides of the zone, they can just pepper it from a distance away and you can't touch them.
Yeah.
Because there's a big old wall in the middle.
That's right. Coming from the sides really helps you get around that wall and attack. But yeah, you can also just sit. You can paint zone from up on snipe, and there's a lot of room, a lot of space.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see what weapons they pick. We had some subs. I think it was only on the Sydney side, so Cookie and Xylem coming in for Low and Nereza. So no Charger player this time for Sydney.
No Charger player.
Interestingly.
All right.
With the bigger map.
Let's get into it. We got our next match of the Maelstrom versus Sydney Endeavour. Splat Zones Snapper Canal. Look, Goy is staying with the sloshing machine, moving around, and here are the CDSs. This is what I thought would happen. So we have Skitter and Cookie with MPU out the wazoo. Kilometers is going to come in the side with his burst bomb, classic, and his bomb rush, which is perfect for Splat Zones in general.
Yeah, an interesting comp. A lot of paint is going to come out there, and then the killing power of the CDSs. But as I say that, both of them have gone down. A real opportunity for Melbourne to try and take the zone.
Right, Kilometers trying to hold on. Now this is where the holding the left and right side of the zone is important. Look, they've used the left-hand side there to bring players back in, and instantly they've got a different angle to attack from. Cookie's trying to make his way around. Geo with an NZAP, trying to slay. Has Skitter with him, so that's a bit easier, but the 4-shot on the NZAP is a lot slower than the 3-shot splatter shot that he usually runs.
Yeah, and They've got a flank here.
Oh, flank coming behind.
Picked it out.
Manages
Couldn't quite
to
get the
stop
pick,
it.
but sent them back.
Ooh, instant. You hear that noise, that direct, don't you? Someone else is inside the base. Goy, does he need to turn around and help? Or
I think they might have got hold of that person, but
control has been lost. Rain is a godsend on this map because it gets across the entire zone.
it does. Sydney really showing that aggressive behaviour we thought they would. You saw those going for the flank, getting right up into the spawn. This is what we thought we'd see from Sydney, and
Lobster taking what looks like a splat bomb kill into Jerry. Probably too much chip damage for him. And well-placed bombs coming out from Lob. Oh, unfortunately, his feet were painted as the bomb came towards him. Shockwave taking out Skidder. That's going to put a 3v3. Shockwave's got a bit too much on him at the moment. It's a 1v1 between him and Geo.
Shock and Geo going at it.
Who's going to win here? JST v JST. Does he need to? Geo is obviously baiting him for a close-range match.
Yeah, and Skidder comes in and cleans him up.
Geo would have called for backup and Skidder came and helped, and I don't even know where Geo is anymore.
Geo must have gone down there.
Yeah.
So, Sydney again showing control of this
Balls
zone.
coming out. The trade between those two. It's 3 down for Sydney. Maelstrom having 2 up, but can they cap? They need to get that flip because that 25 points is hemorrhaging.
Yeah, they managed to get a wipe there, a slow wipe. So they've put the penalty back on them, and they've got a chance to score some points of their own.
Perfect. Ooh, a shot coming out, not enough. Cookie with that CDS turns it into a 3-hit weapon. Ooh, with a tiny bit of damage. Cookie doing a great job, coming in close, trying to take out more. Perfect roll, Landers on the edge and takes one more out.
And Cookie, a really good player, though he doesn't get the credit they deserve.
Right. I don't think Cookie has been on enough teams that have done exceptionally well. He was on Gale Force though, wasn't he, for a short time?
I believe so.
Which was a promising team. They did well.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think a very good player on that CDS as well. Bit of a one trick, but that's okay.
That's
He's good
alright.
at it.
Everyone loves a one trick.
And so
Shockwave taking out 2. Oh, we're going for 3 here. That is weak.
Oh.
Takes out Skidder. That's 3 down. What a brilliant attack. So the strategy's instant replay. We see him taking out the first. He's already got 2 at this point. Even with armor on Skidder, he still manages to come around and take out the final as the surrender hands go up in the air.
It's a Rambo-ass move if I've ever seen one.
I used to do that when I played Sticks. Don't talk about that anymore. Cookie, unfortunately, unable to flick. One of the problems with CDS is its slow kill time, so trying to look up and trying to take that out is it's hard.
And Melbourne looking like they're going to take the lead here.
They are.
2 down still on Sydney, so
There it is. Good lead. Can they hold it? Because a lot of time I see people try to overextend to get the lead, but then
Goy trades out with Skidder. 3 down on Sydney, and Melbourne are going to take the win.
that's game. Melbourne take that win. Brilliant. What a great game to watch. That was a slogfest from both teams.
It was really good, and it looked like Sydney were in control for a lot of the match, but then that second half of the game there, Melbourne just got a couple of wipes and got that thing counting down. So congratulations to Melbourne on the scoreboard, taking out their first win
That's it.
of this first season of the first Firetail League.
And the first time that we've said that this was their first win of the first time. It is great to see. It is really good to see that even our first micro set is coming down to the final game.
It's looking very even.
It is.
Both of those matches, halfway through, either team could have still won. So we haven't seen either of the teams get blown out. It's looking really good, and we've got a live game 3 for our first set, which is great to see. So it'll be on.
There was a DC.
Was there?
Unfortunate. I don't know how I didn't see that. Yes. Yeah, it's regular. That's unfortunate. You don't like to see it. And I think it was Geo. Was it Geo? Because I think it may have been Geo. Whoever it was, if they were with Node 1, this wouldn't have happened.
That's the most important thing to remember here. You don't DC on node 1.
You don't DC on node 1. There's superior wireless connection to your house. Should have been with node 1. I'll get a sound clip for that.
We'll just confer with the teams about the next map, and Gabby, our TO, doing a great job of that. So
yeah, thank you. There's a lot of behind the scenes back and forth, confirming subs, confirming pick bans, and next map choices as well. So look, everything I've seen so far from both teams, even with the DC, it's what I've expected. But I think Maelstrom is doing a lot better than they're dealing with that aggression. It's not a whitewash in any sense of the word for any of the teams.
No, definitely not. They're fairly evenly matched.
Because I know a lot of the teams were very focused on, we haven't got frontline, and it seems to be a consistent message across the 6 teams.
I mean, I found it interesting that Melbourne haven't tried to plug that hole with any of their players.
Mm-hmm.
They've just gone, well, we don't have it, so let's do what we're good at. So you're seeing Hit and Shock play together, and one's playing Nautilus, one's playing Ballpoint. You're seeing like the sloshing machines of Goy as, I guess, their stand-in frontline.
Yeah.
And then Lobster providing some turf support. So we're not seeing a lot of diversion from what those players are good at, and props to them. If they can do that and win the game, then all good.
Then that's what you want, right? So here we go. I mean, even with the DC in there, that was still Melbourne's game, and I still think they played very well to push that through. And we'll find out in the third match here who takes the first set, being Splat Zones.
And we can update the map now as the pick has come in for Schellendorf Institute.
Nice. Neru has just said, apparently we got Firetail League trending in Australia.
Oh, really? Let's go.
Can you imagine? Could you imagine us just trending? Classic. I love it. No, I appreciate that, guys. I really... We can put on these events, but we don't go anywhere unless you guys get excited about it. So it's up to us to make you excited, and it's up to you guys to tell everyone you're excited.
I mean, I've been trying to spam that hashtag as much as possible through tweets, but it only works if you guys join in, and really appreciate that.
No, that's good. And look, we have a lot of sponsors looking at us, and we're relatively unknown. So this is proof of the passion in our community that we can really propel our numbers up. So let's get into that next game. I haven't even figured out what match we're going into.
Schellendorf.
Schellendorf. Hey, all right, great.
So we've got Melbourne in the yellow and Sydney in the purple. As we come in for this, who will take the first set?
Yes, and we're seeing the very similar set of guns come out for Melbourne as they did last match, so it seems like that's their Splat Zones kit.
Yeah, we've had Nereza come back in on Sydney, so they've got the Splat Charger.
Because it's Schellendorf and you need that roof control. Lobster's getting a lot of issues on him, but manages to fight out Geo. 2 of them down, and he got a bit of backup as well. Lobster's movement on the junior is crazy.
Yeah, top class. Really good job of pushing them back. They got the 3 down. Nereza was the only one up, and they're down to 80 already. So
now Shockwave is taking an offensive push up on the right-hand side of their... trying to keep him out from the zone as long as possible. I haven't seen an X over his name, so it seems that he's done a good job there. And Cookie trying to find his way back in. There's a lot of orange turf, and you don't know where people are sitting.
Takes out the beacon, just making sure no sneaky jump pins. And 3 down now on Melbourne, so Sydney taking back control of the zone as we see them score their first points of this game.
Yeah, great. Pit Viper trying to take out Skidder. Unfortunately, Skidder managed to dash around and take out the ballpoint. Pit's not there anymore.
Oh, nice splashdown on Goy.
And see, a lot of people can cancel those splashdowns, but if you splash down from a different height, people don't have that natural flick to look up.
That's true.
Skidder would be most aware of that by now. There's an inkjet up top. It would look like it's coming from Shock. Says he doesn't need to deal with that and backs off. And the lead gets taken over by Sydney.
Yeah, Sydney now sort of settling into a good setup. Locking in, or locking out, I guess, Melbourne.
Shockwave managed to turn around and take it out, but Geo helps out Skidder straight away like a good teammate should.
Yeah, and that's the benefit Skidder brings. It's so hard to hit that as they move around, someone else just clean up the mess.
Right, the fights get dragged out a little bit longer, which allows for the backup to come, the cavalry to run in. Lobster's doing work for his team, manages to bring out the armor there. They keep this with minimum penalty after the reflick back, but it's a 3v4 at the moment, and they're going to need to hold that if they want to not get penalised. Unfortunately, there's the penalty.
Commentator's curse.
Right.
So Melbourne taking back control.
But look at all three converging on that location. I can only imagine the comms. Another bomb kill coming out for Lobster. Lobster, the support maniac. That's a triple coming out from Lobster. Absolutely amazing. Now, he's doing what every support should be doing. He's staying back behind the fight. He's not getting in there. Goy and everyone else is standing in front, but those bombs are going in.
Yeah, really nice.
Securing all the
by
kills.
Lobster there. And they're down to 30, closing in on the lead. Just lost control for the moment. Oh, unfortunately, the penalty goes on.
Penalty comes out. Goy taking a bit of chip damage there, not enough. Got to look at it after his ink there. He's been pinched by 2 or 3 people. Comes out with a panic splashdown. They all know it's coming. They look up and take him out.
Yeah, it's hard to not get cancelled if you take a few hits before you go for the splashdown, unfortunately.
Right.
So again, another really back and forth game. And
yeah, that
fun to watch and fast paced.
That looked like a Melbourne-based. That looked like it was going to be a Melbourne victory for sure to begin with. There, Geo is jumping out, figures he's a bit out of position and wants to help out Skidder on the other side of the map.
And another penalty applied.
Gets a tip. 2 down now for Melbourne. Looks like it's going to be Sydney's zone. Shockwave backing off.
Yeah, really nice work by Melbourne.
I just realised Geo is on a slosher, on a sloshing machine.
Yes.
There's a lot of turf that comes out of it. It makes sense. Trades with Goy.
Bit of slosh on slosh action there.
Skidder coming down, jumped into too many players all at once. Shockwave managed to take it once. Looking at that backline, Reza.
And that's a huge pick. That might lead to them winning this game.
Yes.
As I say that, the zone flips. I cannot keep up with this game. I don't know about the viewers at home, but...
Checkers and Rambo are going to stay silent because
Yeah.
anything we say is contradicted within seconds. And we'll leave you instead with the background music of Firetail.
Nereza keeping everyone at bay here, so...
Ooh, perfect.
Nice, and 3 down for a second there. Ooh.
These penalty is counting down, but it doesn't matter. They have the lead. They have 10 seconds, which is even outside of respawn time. This is looking like it's going to be a Sydney game to take splat zones. And I think that bomb
rush is going to seal it there.
Solidify that win.
Really close match again, firstly. A lot of fun to watch. Like I said, the pace that these two teams are playing at,
I can't keep up.
It's relentless.
I can't keep up.
But yeah, again, similar to the first map on Gobi, just Melbourne going down maybe at the wrong time, or maybe they had to go and push in and try and take that zone, but with about 20 seconds to go, you don't want 3 of your 4 players respawning, because you're not going to be able to get to zone.
No, definitely not. And I think the pressure that came out from Nereza there kind of held Pitt back a little bit. I noticed that Pitt was low on... He shouldn't be getting splats, that's not his direct job, but it is to provide that short burst ball point to paint down onto that zone.
Yeah, if you've got that sniper charger, I should say, to worry about, then it probably throws you off the game a little bit.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with that. So we're going into our next set. So what happens now is... So
Melbourne's lost the first set.
Yes.
Which means they will choose the mode.
Mm-hmm.
From then we'll go back into our banning and then picking system. So Melbourne will pick the mode and Sydney will pick the first map.
Okay. Yep, that sounds good. And then, so we'll find out what happens there. We'll look at the map list rosters. Ooh, all right.
So Shockwave coming through with tower control as the second selection of a zone.
All right.
I think I predicted that, so that's 1 point to me.
That's 1 point. Can anyone have a checkers tally?
We should have like a 0 to Melbourne, 1 to Sydney, 1 to checkers.
How many times we got? Yeah. Just the commentators up the top. How many times we got something right and how many times we got contradicted, and we'll just watch that tick over.
That would be such a one-sided affair.
We would win the Firetail League and take over all this money. Brilliant. So the substitutions are happening now. So look, guys, I'll take this time to say after this match, after this set of 9 games here, we're going to upload all the stats to the firetailevents.com website. Where you'll be able to see a breakdown of everything of what happened. We'll have all the VODs, so if you want to watch the individual games or the whole set, you can do that as well. And then this set will then be taken, or one of the sets... will be
all of them, I think.
All of the sets.
I think so. I think we're going to do a short one on all of the sets.
This set will be broken down on Tuesday with FLC. FLC is Australia's, and he's internationally known as one of the best minds for Splatoon 2 as far as analytic views. So we're going to be with him to keep him on track. So he doesn't...
Yeah, we're going to stay within the time limits. Apart from that,
But we have no doubt that he's going to be able to break down and not only give some feedback to the teams, but give feedback to the viewers about what they could have done in that situation. So everyone gets a little bit better at Splatoon at the same time. Looks like we have a full roster in our lobby, which is good.
Got some bans coming through. So Skidder, who's captaining Sydney, has banned Skipper Pavilion.
Okay, no Skipper Pav.
And
a great Nautilus map, by the way.
Yeah, and I quite like it for tower control. I guess I'll have to wait for another set to see that one. And Melbourne have come back and banned Arowana.
Okay.
So,
Arowana. That is a very tall map, which their charger is actually going to be a bit of an issue.
Yeah, definitely. And so
as they run the gauntlet down the middle. So those 2 maps are gone, which leaves us with...
It leaves us with Anchovy Games, Inkbot Art Academy, Macamart, Manta Maria, Mackerel, Schellendorf Institute again, Starfish Mainstage or Sturgeon Shipyard. And we're just waiting for that selection to come through from the Sydney... the Sydney team who get to choose the first map. So
okay,
bear with us. It's coming.
It's a-coming. Oh, this is a great time for a water break.
Yes, everyone make sure you stay hydrated.
That Splat Zones was top tier. I didn't expect those teams to be that at each other's throats in the first games.
Yeah. I didn't even... Like, it was high quality as well. Because sometimes you think, it's a relatively big tournament. A little bit of nerves probably before you come in. But everyone seemed to be pretty much on point with their aim, their mechanics. It was really high quality Splatoon.
That's right. And thanks again to our misclick dude, Milana and Dr. Prodigy for giving us those videos. We asked them for it, but they was just, all of them were so excited to make something for us and give us some high quality thank you. And there was so, what's the word? Real. They were so passionate about the AUNZ scene. They've all dealt with us before. They know how good we are and they know how much fun it is to play with us. So thanks guys for that.
Yeah, and a couple of them played with us in the invasion, so they've been part of our tournaments as well. Yep. So there's a lot of great support that we get around the world, and especially from you guys in AUNZ as well. So we love putting these shows on, but we need you guys to help us to do it.
That's it, man. That's it, man.
So the first map that's been selected, Manta Maria. So it would be interesting to see what picks come out here.
And just a heads up too, someone said surely we get him on for special guests for commentary. It is definitely something that has come past us, and we are hoping we'll put some feelers out and see who's keen for the All-Star game, I reckon.
Yeah, definitely All-Star game. Maybe we can try and sneak some in during the season as well. Probably a lot of those people, it might be the Sunday games that they can get in on, time zone wise.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll do our best to get some. I mean, you guys are probably sick of listening to us, so you probably get them on the mic.
Great, that's the ding of dings. Let's get into the next set, which is tower control between Melbourne Maelstrom and Sydney Endeavour. Okay, so Sydney Endeavour took out the first set, which was the splat zones. Now, if they take out this set, that is technically them winning. Melbourne Maelstrom do not want that. They want the opposite of that.
That's right, and here they go, Melbourne in blue,
Here we
Sydney
go.
in green.
Look at some of these kits that are coming out. Now, Rez is hopping off the back line and going to a K-Pro. We are seeing Pitt bring out his Booyah Bomb machine.
Shock on the Zap, which I've heard some good things about, but haven't seen in person yet.
Yeah, great. Skitter's still on his Tetras, and then who is it? The Loose Goose comes out in his Carbon. We finally get to see Loose Goose's Carbon. Shockwave looking around, trying to get this early pick. 2 people are down, but see, no one's on that tower. As soon as these picks are going down, people need to be on the tower, and that push needs to begin. This is something that we'll see from more structured teams. Hopefully these guys really get to capitalise on these opportunities, and maybe it's pre-game nerves.
Yeah, and you'll see Shock, while giving the armor and playing NZAP, is probably going to be a lot more aggressive, because he's got players like Pitt who can sit on tower.
Right, and as soon as Pitt's back, Shock's off and racing. Who is helping Shock, though? Shock's taking one-on-one with Low. Low has done a very good job not only taking off the armor, then booyahing back.
Booyah for style. Gonna get caught in a splashdown, but had armor, got pushed back, and they've taken the
Low
tower
has
back.
done a very good job in stopping that push from happening. 52 is an okay push. I'd be surprised if it was their final push.
Yeah, I think we're going to get a lower score than that from one of the teams here.
Skitter being popped on.
Trades out with Shock.
Trading
not
with
bad
Shock.
result.
No, and Loose Goose being taken down as well. So it's a 3v2 with Sydney. More Sydneys on the board. Skitter once again taking no time to respawn at all with his quick respawn build. Back into it, quick jumps in, and he's now in their front lines.
And Low now pushing the tower forward. A little bit stuck by himself. And 3 down on
53 to
Sydney.
52. Perfect stop.
So good.
It's so good.
I'm very much enjoying this.
This is great. I love this Splatoon. Who would have thought if you forced people to play each other and then pitted them each other against with a cash reward that they'd actually try hard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Money is the biggest motivator.
I know, it's almost like money pays for entertainment. So we see Geo
Goose.
unfortunately beeline straight to the tower, which wasn't a good idea.
Yeah, and that carbon from Goose coming out, just watching them drop over the wall and cleaning them up with the roller.
Yes, we see Mario from Brisbane Boom loves to use his long-range roller, his dynamo in this, and we see it working with the...
And they're wiped. This is going to be a knockout if they don't get back in quick enough.
Look at
The Reza
this.
spawns and... Oh, it's going to be a knockout.
One.
There it is.
That's it. Taken out. Melbourne takes the first, showing their strength.
Maybe Melbourne had found their mode here.
All right, so that's Manta Maria. That is a win to Melbourne.
Yep, and they take ascendancy in the second set.
Ascendancy.
Yeah, how good was that?
What a good word.
Yeah, really impressive from Melbourne.
I loved the coordination between the four of them. I loved the aggression between Goose and Shock. Shock being aggressive with that NZAP, but he's objective focused to get the push started.
Yep.
And then the team kind of circles around and goes forward. And then Loose Goose goes even further forward than Shock does.
And Loose Goose is very good at just sitting there in wait, waiting for you to
the shark.
make a mistake, and then he's going to just roll right over you.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Agree.
Yeah, nice work from Goose coming in there.
That was a intense map. We went 53, 52, then to 1.
Yeah.
Straight into the knockout. So we get into our next map, I think, which has already been picked.
Yes.
What are we getting, Checkers?
We're going to Anchovy Games.
Anchovy Games is up next. Game 2 of the tower control. Melbourne Maelstrom, if they take this out, that is them taking out the set. But we will still play the third for points.
We will. as we said at the in the pre-game show, incredibly important. Even if you drop the first 2 sets, if you can pick up a set or a few games in the rest of the match, then that could go a long way to you qualifying for finals and some other individual awards as well.
Right. Only the first will get the free ride into the grand final.
That's right, and that's a huge incentive.
Yeah.
To finish first here.
Yeah.
You go straight to the $1,000 match.
Yep. Where you'll see the second and third team will need to play in a semi-finals, but between who is third will probably be determined based on points.
Most likely, yeah.
Because chances are they're all going to be around, a few losses, a few wins.
2 or 3 wins each sort of thing, yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely going to be very important each single game. And that's why we wanted to structure it like this.
Mm-hmm. Now, we've seen some subs come in and out. I've noticed Cookie has taken a step in. I think that CDS on Anchovy is a very, very good idea. You can fight from the ground floor up into arcade. And all of these range battles that, the beginning of fan, you can shoot onto plat. For anyone who understands what these call-outs are. I don't know if I'm making them up or if they're official.
They're working out.
Basically, there's a lot of different areas that the CDS can actually outrange, especially with the height differentials as well.
And so it was it's Skitter that's come out. So
Skitter has been taken out. Okay.
Maybe it's the short range. They're worried about the height of the plats, or
right.
I'm not sure, but
not to mention that Skitter needs to take a seat. They've played a few of the matches so far.
That minimum games count.
Right.
It's definitely going to come into play.
So everyone needs to rotate anyway. You can't just keep...
You can't keep
players.
The same 4.
Nah, the entire time.
It's up to the teams to work out the best way to split that over a whole season.
Right.
Are they going to sub in between games of one match, or are they going to, as Melbourne seem to be doing, sort of keeping a pretty core team, and then maybe next week they'll go with a different core team and work it like that. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes.
So can I get in chat, please? Tell me who you think is going to win. Is it the Maelstrom or is it Endeavour? I'm looking forward to seeing this Twitch chat spam. We got a couple of Sydneys coming out. We have a couple of chances for people to make a joke. Maelstrom is definitely a classic. The Melbourne Maelstrom.
I heard Milkstorm.
Milkstorm, it's a good one. Now that's the bell. Let's get into the next match of the Firetail League. Tower control between Melbourne Maelstrom and Sydney Endeavour. Now Nareza, is that Nareza I see on a
heavy remix?
Yes.
Same with Pit. We've seen an NZAP on either side,
and an L3 coming out from Geo as well. I don't doubt that he will be able to slay with that.
And Loose Goose stepping into that T-Tech, which is probably something I thought that they might need to do during this tournament with the lack of frontline for Melbourne.
Right.
So Melbourne in purple, Sydney in green, and a bit of a stalemate here.
The armor was already popped, but no one really used it for anything. Pitt tried to help out, unfortunately didn't get there in time, and the fight had already happened, and it put Pitt in a bad position where I assume that Silem's burst bomb's coming through. No, it would be Geo's L3.
Yeah.
Silem's not playing this round, is he?
I don't believe he was on the list there.
Perfect. Geo down, 2 taken down, and this is the perfect time for Pitt to be hopping on the tower, which he does. We have taught him well.
Get on the tower, Pitt! No, Melbourne doing a good job taking first legitimate push here.
Clip coming in. A lot of these team fights are happening, and I'm really, really ecstatic to see this. It's the first checkpoint coming out from Pitt. But the team play coming out from these guys, everyone's helping out each other. No fight is a one-on-one.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job of sticking together.
Loose Goose popping out an inkjet onto 2 people. This is dangerous inkjet. CDS.
Oh, someone rolls off.
Oh, Cookie is just so pressured that he thought the best death was him to commit suicide.
The Cookie's been dunked. Dunked over the edge. as Melbourne continue on to the next checkpoint. Already
This
down to
looks
25.
like a little whitewash. Look at this go. Pitt hopping on. Gio trying to take a shot from the top right-hand corner. Goy helps out, and Pitt throws a booyah bomb, which is going to secure the next
Couldn't quite
Cookie.
get through the checkpoint. That could come to bite them in the bottom.
Cookie was in the ass, Checkers. It's going to bite them right in the keister. Cookie did not like that he was just on camera suiciding, so he thought, hey, maybe I'll come back and just win the game. He stopped the push and saved the game for Sydney, in my opinion.
Yeah, we'll see if they can make the most of that. They've almost got a second life here, because that was looking like a knockout for a long time.
It was.
Cookie trying to just control mid. Not much else happening through the middle here. They're all sort of a Mexican standoff.
Yeah, they're waiting for their specials. They're waiting to build it up, which means that both teams are showing, good discipline, right? Low managing to take out that inkjet.
Oh, and gets Pitt with the bomb. The
Yeah,
suction bomb.
great job. That was a very good job coming out from Low. There was really good movement that I saw here coming out from Low. He's already got one kill here and managed to get the bomb kill for the second and the armor. So it's 2 people down, armor, and a push going forward.
Yeah. And that replay brought to you by Strutties. Get your apparel from Strutties.
Custom.
Your custom apparel, yeah.
That's
Go
it.
get your name on it, otherwise.
Don't need no standard apparel. Ooh, Gio being taken out by Shockwave with the movement. Look at that vertical movement, dancing out of it. Unfortunately, you can only dance so much until Nereza mows you down with her big gun.
Yeah, but this Sydney team under a huge amount of pressure.
Yeah. Booyah Bomb is great,
nice
takes out
Booyah
2. Gets 3, we're looking
it's
for a
quad!
quad!
There
Yes!
we go!
There is a quad coming out from Nereza. What a beautiful piece of play here.
The first quad of the Firetail League. Nereza doing a great job there.
Great stop.
And
Beautiful. It
Sydney
wasn't...
finally moving it past the 97 mark. They've been on almost the whole game now.
And who started that push?
Nereza's quad.
Nereza's quad started that push. Look, that's going to set everyone up. That means that there's 3 other specials that they get to start growing. It means that everyone gets to position themselves. And it means that Melbourne are on their back foot.
Yeah, Melbourne really looking like they're tightening up a little bit because
Goose taking out 1, dying out.
a quad puts so much pressure on you to get back in, and they're struggling to do that successfully.
Now look, they got to push to 10. That's a hard push.
There's Goy's set up there, but can they get enough other people around the tower?
They can. And
Another
that Booyah is
from
coming out from
Nereza.
Nereza again. But the armor is coming out, which is coming. Stop. Loose Goose getting what looks like a
there's
double
a
kill. A white. What a stop coming out. Very well as a team play. They knew that they had all the way till 10. They waited, they got the armor, and they pushed in 4 people still alive.
Yeah, they did a really good job at the end there. That's what they were struggling to do in the lead up to that. All work together to get that tower back.
Goose a little bit too far forward. He really needs that turf back up from everyone else, and he didn't need to die there. But he's probably on adrenaline from that save.
There we go.
That's the game being stopped there. That's 2-2 Melbourne Maelstrom.
Yeah, they take out the tower control set. We will play the third game, but we've got a live third set, which is what we want to see.
They are sticking to the script, which we've been seeing floating around the Game 9 script.
Yeah, you gotta go to Game 9. Nereza 15 KA,
Brilliant.
huge there. Melbourne
Amazing.
though had 3 players up in the 12 to 15 range, so a real team effort from the Melbourne Maelstrom to take out set 2.
To take out set 2. And they couldn't have done it against a stronger opponent. They played really well. I think the Sydney Endeavour played very well. We'll have to go and we'll have to probably talk to FLC about what happened to cause that 10 push, that all the way to 10.
Yep.
I think that was a key moment of that game because they came back with a counter push that was very close. I think they got 20.
Yeah, they did. They got down to 20.
Which is a massive push for Anchovy.
Yep.
But if that first push wasn't so successful, then that would have been a win to Sydney.
Yeah, and the other interesting thing about the and just so everyone knows, the FLC's show on Tuesday nights is the ATAR support analysis desk.
It is, because you need your education in
Yes.
Splatoon 2.
FLC's here to
To
I don't want to say lecture you.
School you.
Yeah, school you is probably the better way to do it.
Lecture you. No, people skip lectures.
But the interesting part is that we've got our TO Gabby in the lobby as well, looking at the overhead map view. So you're gonna, if you tune in on Tuesday night, you're gonna see a whole other perspective, which is going to be really interesting to see what was going on at certain times in these matches.
Yeah, agreed. No, I think that's going to be great. I can't wait to help out for that first game. Evelyn probably teaching me a few things as well.
Yeah.
I think there's plenty for me to learn.
Absolutely, there is. So the third map, Starfish main stage. We'll get into that. It's not going to have an impact on this match, but it certainly could have an impact on the overall standings. Every game is important.
Right.
We can't stress that enough.
No. So Sydney have a chance here to either A, live test some of their...
I love Paddy. A shout out from 8 for ATAR.
It was thanks to ATAR Sports. Thanks, Paddy Diddles. Yeah, look. It was... Oh man, I've lost my train of thought. No, this is the chance for Sydney to either live test some new strats, right? To see if something else will work, something else can tip a big team like Melbourne off the scales. Or they can just put in what they think will still work and just try harder the next map.
Yep.
And get some more points on the board.
Yeah, because at the moment you see Melbourne...
What map are we playing, by the way?
Oh, we're playing Starfish main stage. At the moment you can see Melbourne's actually won 3 games to 2. So would currently be on top of the leaderboard if there was one. But
Would be.
That's why games are so important to win.
Right. So we see Cookie coming back out with the CDS, low on that NZAP, doing very well with that NZAP before. And who is on the T-Tech on the other side?
That's Loose Goose.
Oh, yep.
So pretty similar comps coming out. So
Gets a kill on the wrong person. Was meant to go for Nereza, but unfortunately got Cookie in the crossfire. That's why you don't stand in the same lines. The BR bomb coming out, securing that checkpoint. No, because there was a pincer come in from Goy.
But a nice job by Nereza, sort of holding back there and making sure that they couldn't push the tower any further.
It's an unconventional backline. I see him movement within the team. He plays it like a midline weapon, which is very good.
Yeah, I think that's just a trend at the moment with the game, that more and more of the backliners are pushing up a bit and trying to have a bigger impact on games.
Oh, Geo managing to take out Goy there. Only one down so far, but it's back at stalemate, right in the middle. Tower's back in the middle.
And interestingly, Geo's changed to the K-Pro, maybe more suitable for tower control.
What's interesting here, what I really wanted to have a look there, just before he jumped out, he saw 3 fights, picked none of them.
Yeah.
He wanted to hold that right-hand side. Unfortunately, it didn't work out and he jumped back out. So just the brain of Geo,
Yeah.
along with his mechanical skills, is why he's such a great player.
Wants to be an advantage every time he takes a fight, so that's probably why he gets so many kills.
Right. Pit managing, all we can hear is Pit spooling on that tower, waiting for the chance to fight. Manages to push forward, and here we see this Melbourne push come over this left-hand side.
Yeah, they're pretty ferocious. They're all around the tower again, going out trying to pick someone up.
Has spotted Cookie up on the snipe, gets one direct, just needs a second indirect. Can't manage to see it, but doesn't try and chase the kill. Geo gets taken down, splashdown coming out, gets cancelled.
Didn't have too many options there, so splashdown potentially the right call, and he'll get that refunded as he respawns.
That's right. Lowe's managed to spot someone there, doesn't know quite how to take him out, but hopefully he has a bit of support. Yes, taken down. Loose Goose, I think that was. Yep, gets taken down.
So Melbourne 2 down, and Sydney going to start their version of push. See if they can get any further than 44.
Notice how their version of the push has Low sitting on the tower rather than Nereza.
Yeah, it is An interesting point.
Yeah, different. You know, they get a few more people on tower for this checkpoint. Burn through that checkpoint. Now they have to convert on that left-hand side if they want to actually get through this checkpoint. Low dancing around. Has Loose Goose up in the corner. Manages to get checkpoint 2. Takes the lead. Low dancing around like it's nothing. Rain coming out, giving a bit of support. Bit more pain on that tower.
Dance is pretty good for a big guy. No, Low doing a really good job of taking the tower there.
And once again, that objective focus that comes out of Low is the reason that they're now at 31 push.
Yeah, and you saw Nereza could support by having that Booyah Bomb rather than being on tower, because as soon as you pop Booyah Bomb, you're not scoring points. Mm-hmm. So Low taking that made a lot of sense.
You know, Shock playing it really patient on the side here, pushing with the Booyah Bomb, trying to get Nereza out. No, Geo, sorry. Shock taking out Geo. Nereza coming back up to that snipe point to take a one-on-one with Pit.
Well, Nereza under a lot of pressure here.
Tries to get out, manages to Booyah. Probably a little panic Booyah. Don't know how he's going to get to the other side of that. Tries
the shark.
Shock says, nah, I've seen that too often. Manages to get a second. Oh, if you got a third, I was ready to press that replay button. Still a good play nonetheless. Now here we go on this left-hand side. We see Melbourne trying to get the same amount of points. They have 52 seconds to do it.
They really need to do it.
He's getting it point by point. Not enough.
They don't really have too much time to hold back here. They need to get back on tower.
They've got a little bit of time though, and they need to wait for the perfect opportunity to keep that push going.
Yeah, you just don't want the tower going too far back and then having to take it all the way in the last sort of overtime.
Because Sydney's just going to set up again, and a Booyah Bomb's going to come out. Gio's holding onto it now. 24 seconds, comes out a little bit early, but doesn't want the push to go any further than that. More Booyahs coming out.
Oh, Gio knocks back the armor.
Gets caught in a weird spot here. Splashdown comes in the right, takes out Gio. That is one down apiece.
They need to get on, and that rain is just causing a little bit of
too much, Pit. But Pit doesn't matter getting a little bit wet as long as he doesn't get killed. Pit trying to go in for that last kill. Low going in for a...
And the Booyah finishes off. So, Sydney there running the double Booyah, which might have been...
It was very hard for them to push back, to push through that spot.
Yeah, because even though Gio used his with about 20 seconds to go, Nereza was there to pick it up, and Sydney there, very even KAs working together, a bit more synergy maybe with the specials and that type of thing. But yeah, everyone sort of showing up there, and they finally get a tower control win.
They get a TC win.
And doesn't win them the set, but
no.
It could be very important as we discussed.
That's right. Now we go into our final set.
Yes.
This is not only the final set of this game, it is 1-1 apiece.
It is, yes.
So it determines who wins this game, as well as set points and game points.
Yep. So, as we said in the pregame, again, that when you're still trying to work out the modes, like the format, I guess I should say, of the tournament, of the set play, the strategy behind who should play when, who should play what mode. As you're working those things out, it's really nice if you just pick up a win along the way.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Because later on in the tournament, everyone might figure it out, and you might not have picked up that early win, and that might be the difference between finals and not finals. So
right. Yes. No, we have stressed the importance.
Yes.
Of every game.
Did you know that each game was important, viewers? Please confirm in chat.
Please win the game. Yeah, no. As long as they've understood, then that's fine.
So benefit
next?
Sydney will be choosing the mode. So really shows the benefit of winning that turf war. And everyone's like, turf war, not a big deal. Big deal.
Big deal.
Because this
turf war is a big deal, guys. All right,
worked out.
It's not just the Japanese meta.
It's not a joke, guys.
Come on, guys.
What it's meant is, Sydney won the mode they picked first.
Yes.
Melbourne won the mode they picked, and now Sydney gets to pick the next mode.
That's a very good point. The winner of the turf war gets to pick two modes,
depending on how the results come out. But yes, correct.
Oh yeah, because it's loser of the
Yeah. But yeah, really, really important that turf war might become as Sydney. Which mode do you think they'll pick? I mean, We got Clan Blitz or Rainmaker.
You know what? I think it's going to be Clan Blitz.
I'm feeling a bit of clams.
I think it's going to be Clan Blitz only because the Rainmaker from Melbourne will be stronger than Sydney, in my
You
opinion.
reckon? See, because I thought that the aggression that Sydney shows, plus having like Lowe, who's specialist on Rainmaker and stuff like that, I thought they'd go with that early on, but I guess I should read what they've said and
Maybe I should actually see what's going on. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Let's get into our next match, guys.
But they have actually selected Rainmaker.
Rainmaker.
So this will be incredibly interesting.
Yes.
Being on our team, we know that Lowe and Pitt both really enjoy the Rainmaker.
And they have propelled Blooper Reel to be the best at Rainmaker. We can punch above our weight in Rainmaker because Pitt and because of Lowe.
Yes, correct. And we got other Rainmaker specialists like Lobster, like Lowe. This will be really interesting. I'm glad this is the set that's deciding it all.
Me too. Have we got a first map?
No first map yet. Bans are just coming through.
Yeah.
Melbourne banning Muscle Forge Fitness.
Okay, no Muscle Forge, sure.
And Sydney banning Black Belly.
Black Belly Skate Park. That is it's basically a flat map, isn't it? Where you can pick up and run and the game can be decided very quickly.
Yep. And I mean, that's one thing about this mode is that the games can be decided ultra quickly, especially if you compare it to, your splat zones and your tower control, which takes a little bit longer. Tower, you got to go through the checkpoints and there's more opportunity to fend. If you wipe in Rainmaker, that could be it.
That can be it. Absolutely. That's what makes it such a flip mode and such a polarizing mode. I know there's a lot of people who don't like Rainmaker because if you stuff up, you get punished for it. You absolutely get punished for it. Got our map pick now for the first game of Rainmaker. We're going with Sturgeon Shipyard.
Yeah, a really good Rainmaker map. That box jump obviously can get you a lot of points.
Yes. Now there is a lot of stall now because of this box jump, and the ink, the toxic mist buff that has come through has stopped a lot of those jumps from happening.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if we see some toxic mist weapons come out.
At the same time, bombs are very important in Rainmaker.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a trade-off, isn't it? But let's get the map sorted in the lobby.
Now it's interesting. I wonder if we're going to see. I don't think we've seen much of Xylem, and I don't think we've seen Silaris at all.
No, we haven't, and
does that trend continue to happen?
We saw one game from
Xylem.
We saw one game from Xylem. So maybe they've decided that Xylem might be more useful in other matches against other teams. Different.
Yep. Everyone's got their rotations and that kind of stuff. That's fine.
Yeah, and I think I saw in chat that Sai's not playing.
I see.
Potentially the rushdown impact of the Sydney team could be hard to space against. So maybe
that's a good idea.
Maybe that's the reason.
I don't doubt that she wouldn't be able to handle it.
No,
but there is other people better suited to dealing with that comp.
Correct.
That's a good call.
We're just waiting for players to ready up. So Melbourne is sticking with their team of Shockwave, Goy, Loose Goose, and Lobster. So Pit Viper taking the sub. So I expect Lobster to be the one to pick up Rainmaker there. Yep. And then Geo, Low, Cookie, and Skidder playing for Sydney. again, we've seen what Low can do with the Rainmaker in hand.
Yeah, and look, if Melbourne take their eye off Low for a second, he will run the Rainmaker.
Yeah.
He will just push it. Don't ever think that you're safe with the Rainmaker. You guard that until it's reset and the barrier is around it again.
Yeah, they need to make sure sometimes teams push up and try and like paint up in front and then pick up Rainmaker. But if you leave that Rainmaker unattended and you push it ahead of it, don't be surprised if Low sneaks in behind, grabs it,
He will
takes
grab
your
it.
lunch money and runs.
All right, guys, the final set of the Firetail League between Melbourne and Sydney. It's been a stellar matchup so far, and I'm hoping that continues into the final set. Now we see what's coming out of here is Lobster on the Sploosh.
The Sploosh 7.
Sploosh 7. So that's a splash bomb and a hammer. It seems a very well used gun for
Rainmaker.
For Rainmaker, yep.
Yeah, it can pop quickly. You've got quick movement. We've seen teams run quad splooshes, so...
Oh, don't talk to me about the quad sploosh runs. It's a very effective. Look, it's probably the only meme team that actually is a proper comp.
Yeah, and...
See, and look, Low zigzagging around it instantly. He runs it to 17. There were 3 of his players down, and he still managed to make it to 17. Keep your eye on him.
And you got to keep up with him if you're in his team as well.
Right, because he will go without hesitation
Yeah.
as well. And that's a blessing and a curse, isn't it?
It can be, definitely. If you're not ready, then he can get picked off by himself.
Lobster getting picked up on the side there. Stops at 73. It's not a big push, but allows him to reset.
Yeah, and
doesn't matter. 3 of them are down. 3 of them are down right now. I don't even know who took out those kills.
They got caught in the rain.
Do they also love pina coladas? Because it appears they have been caught in the rain. Oh my god. Okay, so Shock's finding a reposition here to try and get a few picks, but no one's letting him up that
I
sponge.
guess trade on Skidder.
Trade's not what he needs right now. He needs to be
but-
taking clean kills.
He did manage to get them back in. Rainmaker's going to reset here, back to mid, and Goy is recognising that. So Sydney did a good job there of locking Melbourne out from the Rainmaker.
They did. Now Goy's taking a run up. Trice, and unfortunately Cookie gets the read on the way down with some of the bullets tracing him down the fall. Very nice shots coming out of Cookie. And that kill time between the CDS and the sloshing machine is probably quite equal.
Forward. Shot goes down, pushing up ahead. Sydney just on the back foot here a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like it. Goose being taken down, Jer being taken down, back and forth, 3
Three
and
down
now
again.
down.
Goy pushing up, but needs to get to 17, so he's taking his time. They want to get another white and push up.
Shock looking at the side, takes out 1, takes out 2, that is 2 of them down.
Unfortunately, he's just goose up on Melbourne now, though.
But he can stay alive. Look, he's dancing around. Gio's found a way behind. And this is why they pay Gio the big bucks. That little jump on the side. You don't think about it.
You don't, and there's way more ways to get up on that little grate than I realised. I've learned a lot.
Take notes.
You can get up off this little box as well, so...
Yeah, you can. Yes, yep. It's Cookie just trying to find where they're coming from. They're setting up like what looks like a box around him. Everyone just on the ledges just shooting down. It's Shockwave, he knows it's coming. He's seen it all before.
Yeah, Shock a very smart player. I don't know if you watched him stream, but he's always shooting where the player's going to be before they even get there, so...
Right. He's just covering his bases, and people need to not be predictable if they want to get the better of him.
Look at the aggression coming out.
Trying to get this third.
A pass.
Oh, the shot comes out. And now I'm afraid to run a replay because of this push is happening at the middle. But look, he's across the other side of the map.
Lovely shot.
So we're seeing a drop of that Rainmaker. That push didn't eventuate to anything, unfortunately.
No, but it's still in a dangerous position. Shock's still there next to it as well. Just trying to get his team back in. Another inkjet pops out.
Well, it's trying to get a few shots up. He's very green at that point.
They just can't quite get it back to this 50 mark that it was on, but they're also not that far away from getting the win. Like it's
That's it,
the
right?
game's on the edge right now.
As soon as Sydney wipe here, that's going to be Melbourne take the lead. 17 is still a very good push.
Who's doing well
On the
playing
96.
On the Gal, yeah.
He
Not
needs
something
that
we'd
armor
always
to
see.
drop out for his team. Cookie coming, taking out, Cookie cutting through Loose Goose.
Shock again, pressuring the mid. That was a pun, was it?
It was a pun.
Was it?
It was a pun.
It was
Obviously
almost a pun.
didn't land as well as it was almost a pun.
So Melbourne taking control of the remake again, as they've had for most of the game, but just haven't been able to do anything with it.
Melbourne is definitely controlling this map, but it doesn't matter because Sydney are winning.
And that's the benefit of having someone like Lowe who can get you those quick points.
Right.
And they don't really have to push again, they can just defend it.
Now, Lob knows that this is the last time that he can hold the Rainmaker, so he cannot drop this. He is playing super cautious until they get a pick. Cookie is down. It is now 4v3, but they have to capitalize this. Lob's is kind of holding back a little bit. Is the jump safe? Missiles are coming out. He's got a dance around here. Lowe's going to get this stop. Lobs are trying to do a dance. Not enough of a dance.
Lowe getting the points and getting the kill to end the game. So that key to the game that we talked about earlier, the support players stepping up.
Yeah, that's
seems
it.
to be happening.
And that's got to be a Sydney win for the first match of Rainmaker. Very even kills coming out there.
Shockwave.
Shock showing, yeah.
We saw what he was doing for all of that,
We
just
did.
holding that Sydney team back in their spawn. But
Look
there you go.
at this win-loss. It looks like a Christmas tree. It's so back and forth.
Yeah, it's been really good. Two teams that are nice, evenly matched. Even in individual games, it's going back and forth. So couldn't ask for much more on a first ever
Yeah.
game for Firetail League. And Melbourne and Sydney are those two big Splatoon cities. You think of Splatoon, you think of Phantom in Sydney, you think of BAM in Melbourne.
Yep.
They're the big events.
You think of WA losing to them. Yep.
A lot of the players in our community are from those two cities.
Yep.
They played off in our Firetail All Stars for the win, so really not surprised to see the support and the
For the Melbourne and the Sydney
for
love.
those two teams.
Yes, yes. Not to mention this isn't a state of origin. People haven't been drafted into these squads based on their, their location.
That's a good point to bring up.
So a lot of these players, or all of these players here, are all from around Australia. Loose Goose is from New Zealand. Some are in ACT. Really, they just get to wear the jersey they were drafted to, much
Yeah.
like
It's professional sports.
Yeah.
Right? So
we're professional.
if you played in the NBA or the AFL or whatever, you don't get to choose which team you play for. So whoever drafts you, you go there and you do your best, and
That's it. You
they
get a
become
sweet jersey for it.
They become your club, your team.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But more importantly, the jersey.
The jersey though, get your custom jerseys from Strutties.
Yep. Thanks, guys. So, we are getting into our next map. I think it's just been announced. So,
Yes.
what have we got?
We have Piranha Pit.
Next up, Piranha Pit.
So we'll just hold on for the teams to make any substitutions. Obviously, a huge game. Sydney Endeavour on match point here. So
Ooh.
all the pressure kind of falls on to Melbourne to do something. They need to take this out. Maybe they've looked for a longer map. So Piranha Pit, obviously, on most modes runs one way, but on Rainmaker runs the very longest way down the map. So maybe that's their strategy here.
Now, Piranha Pit was banned in an earlier tower control, right?
You put a bit of pressure on me to remember that, but
It is.
I think it was.
It was, yes.
Or maybe it was zones.
No, it was tower control. So it's interesting to see that they've allowed it to go through for the Rainmaker, because the Nautilus and both Pit and Shock are very good at Nautilus, and holding on this map is actually quite good.
Yeah, so the teams are stuck with the 8 players that we saw in the last game. So still no Pit to come in, but Shockwave on the Nautilus, definitely would expect to see that. Yeah, we'll see what else these teams bring out. I'm sure palms are getting sweaty.
Knees weak.
Mum's spaghetti. But
because they don't get to verse each other again.
No, they don't.
That's it. This is the yeah, no, this isn't the last game, but this is the last time that they get to verse each other up until the finals. Till they see each other again in the finals.
And Slim is Shady has approved of our use of the reference. We appreciate that. Probably should have got that signed off before we used it.
Yeah, cheers, Slim. It's good to see you. That means that people from EU are watching.
Yeah,
thanks, Slim. That's awesome.
What else would you do waking up on a Saturday morning in Europe?
Saturday morning cartoons, and this is right?
Basically as close as you're going to get to that.
Yeah, it's like sports and cartoons together.
It's even better.
We're even better.
Just waiting for Lo to lock in. Surprised it took him so long because he's going to pick Blob Lover.
Is this whole league just song references now? Yes, hilarious. Yes, it is. Any chance for a pun, we'll take it there.
Here we go. Rainmaker, Piranha Pit. Sydney on match point. What can Melbourne do about it?
They better do something.
They better do something.
Yeah. All right, they're going to come in the middle. Have we seen any changes from the previous match? Gio coming out on his splatter shot. No, was he running that before?
Who can remember?
Who can
so
remember
excited.
these? I know, right? But we've got, on the other side, there is no longer a Lobster. Is he there?
I think Lobster might be playing the NZAP.
Okay, all right. So he's deciding to support with a different weapon. He didn't.
Or could be the CS. I'm not
Ooh,
sure.
Goy coming out with a double.
Nice double.
What an instant to come straight out, and I heard so many connects here as well. So he came around for this first kill, and then in the second kill, he's jumped down and managed to catch someone in the corner.
And
Brilliant.
Melbourne are running it far left. Might try and catch these guys out of position. Loose picks up.
Two of them down so far. Looks like this is going to be the beginning of a push. Oh, Cookie trying to stay alive gets the last tap. Now that's the brilliance of CDS.
Oh, and Lobster getting picked off there, but still not a bad push.
Cookie saving that push.
Yes.
As Cookie was rolling back. And that's the beautiful thing about the CDS is rolling backwards and still getting all that range and all that damage.
And the Sydney team trying to get back control here of the Rainmaker and
Two
and
taps
mid.
coming out on that right-hand side as well. Cookie doesn't just try to chase the kill. Obviously,
Yeah,
not as
waiting for
aggressive
Skidder
as-
to come in, but turns out there's two Melbourneites, I don't know what you call them.
Yeah, Melbourne.
Maelstroms.
Maelstrom players. Maelstroms. What is the multiple of Maelstrom?
Yeah, it's got a bad S.
Maelstroms. Maelstromi? Goose taking control of that inkjet. Very important to take control of those micro objectives as you push up the map as well.
Yeah, and the Blob's coming in just to try and keep Lobster back, but
Now you can see Shock knows exactly where Gio is, wondering if he can take a pick on
got
him.
control of the podium, so Lobster just needs to
Or
push
needs...
up here. Gets the pick.
Gets the kill.
3 down.
This could be. No, the Blob's coming out.
Oh, jukes it.
Now they've got to paint the
Get
back
up
of
there.
it. Okay.
Oh, man. That was tough to watch him try and climb
Flounder.
the podium. Yeah.
Flounder. Can we get...
Flopping around
I wonder
there.
if we can get the back end of that replay.
Oh,
No, we get a
just got
dunk.
a dunk.
We got a dunk. That's good enough, man. I'm happy to see the dunk there. Oh, what a play. Now,
Game 9. Game 9 hype.
Game 9 hype for the beginning of this this league. I can't believe it's actually happening, guys. I can't believe it's happening.
You couldn't write it.
No, well, we did write it and they're following it.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh. So, okay. The key change in that, Lobster moving to the NZAP. I
Yep.
feel that they didn't lose their aggression, but then picked up armors.
Yeah, well, we saw Lobster really struggled in that Sturgeon Shipyard game on the Sploosh.
Right.
I think only picked up
3 kills.
3 KA. So a good choice to move off that. And
so.
the NZAP can provide you with a lot more if you're not getting those kills than the Sploosh can. So
And as well, you don't lose that bomb pressure because the suction does a lot of damage to the Rainmaker shield.
yeah, definitely.
Mm.
But Lob's
And
doing
most
a really
of the
good
time,
job
he
of
was picking the Rainmaker,
carrying
right?
up the Rainmaker.
Yeah.
So and Lobster's very patient with the Rainmaker, I
Except for
find.
the end bit there where he was
Well.
flopping around trying to get up that
Yeah.
top.
Exactly. But really keen on, like, sometimes you see him holding it and you're like, go, 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 go. But he's probably smarter than me and picks the right moment and then scores more points than I would. So, yeah, really nice play.
Lobster's probably thinking, "Goi, goi, 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 goi."
Yeah.
Great. So, game 9 here. We have 126 people for our inaugural launch. 126 people watching some Splatoon, man.
And some really damn good Splatoon.
I know, right? This is some good shit, if you don't mind me saying that. Like, we have some top tier talent here. It is a game 9. We've seen good quality picks, bans, and weapon choices. We've seen 2 teams that have completely come from nothing to work together and actually produce a result.
Yeah, and you've seen them like working 2-on-1s and stuff like that. Like, it's like they've been together for a lot longer than
I know.
A couple of months. So I'm so impressed with what's going on today, and I'm sure
Super impressed.
all the other games will be just as good. But this one might be hard to top. This has been intense.
I agree, and all these stats will be uploaded to the Firetail website after this. Give us a little bit. It is an automatic process, so when we'll work hard on getting it up, and hopefully later tonight or later this morning, depending on where you are.
Yeah.
Give us a few hours.
Okay, so we are going to Inkblot Art Academy to see if someone can paint themselves into first place on the Firetail League.
For the last match, they've picked the smallest map possible.
Well, that's the Sydney pick there.
Okay.
So you can see that Sydney's maybe going for some of the shorter, tighter maps. Melbourne's going for some of the more open maps.
And I'm seeing Skidar and Geo. Now let's see if they can finally do what they've been trying to do the whole thing. Melbourne have held them off. This aggression that everyone has been scared of, it hasn't been over the top.
No, and I think
it's been dealt with.
I mean, the Melbourne team have that mechanical skill to deal with these things, and I'm sure a lot of the other teams in the league do as well. Interesting, we're seeing Nereza check in to the game for Sydney. So that would be Cookie, who subbed out. Going for maybe a bit of longer range on Inkblot, maybe control the plat. Be interesting to see how that works out for them.
It will be.
Definitely a favourite of ours, this map.
Oh, Inkblot brings back good memories for me. I mean, me as a dedicated Clapples main, the short range is really good.
Yeah, and being able to duck in and out behind the boxes and stuff like that might suit Skidder as well.
Yeah.
And also being able to, dash as a Julie's up on to the plat.
They've got that uninkable ramp that is a pain in the ass for every other weapon.
Yeah.
But the Julies can actually maneuver around it, which is super beneficial.
Everyone's calling out for bamboos in chat for some reason.
Did someone say bamboo in chat? Or are they booing the Melbourne tournament?
I have no idea.
Like bam? Boo?
Oh, right, man.
Oh, boy.
Oh, right. Yeah, I mean, I would have got it if it was good.
All right, that's the bell for a more entertaining than my jokes stream. So let's go.
Game 9.
Game 9, guys. That's what we're here
all.
for. This is what we want to see.
We've got Melbourne in green, Sydney in orange.
No change to a comp in Melbourne. Why change what isn't broken?
Double splatter shot on Sydney.
Lobster floundering around, just painting everything, just to try and get that armor out. Instantly
for the
picks
quick
up.
run.
That's three down. This could be the beginning of the end here.
And
Splash Wall is beautiful, timed with a rain to stop that push.
Yeah, well done by Low.
Lobster's finding a way. Ooh, around it gets stopped. Low saves the day, sharking in the corner.
They've got up on the plat though, so if they can get some picks.
Yeah,
they'll be
Low's going to
right.
run out of ink here soon. And it looks like there is more Sydney people trying to take that down.
Yeah, you see up on the top right there, Melbourne have taken the plat.
Doesn't matter because Geo has pushed it down. Thankfully, there was someone there to stop Geo because 3 people were up on the plat.
Oh, Shock turning around and being met with a couple of suction bombs.
That must have sucked.
Oh, but the push is coming in. Down to 27.
Bolster to 27. That's still 3 of them alive. 2v3 at the moment. Skidder trying to keep it alive. Goose is in his preferred position, which is underneath the ramp.
With the roller. Shockwave trying to dunk onto 4. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness me.
Keep this live. Clutch kill. Missiles coming out trying to repaint.
And they're sneaking out the back door. 3
They're
down.
disarming. That's what they're doing right now. Just stopping the pressure.
3 down on Melbourne.
Ooh, massive splashdown coming in. Not taking out anyone. Goy being shot from the back. Shockwave taking out Skidder as well. That's a wipe.
It's a wipe, so Melbourne in a lot of control. And we've seen, it's too early to talk about that, but we've seen teams stall it out down near the trees.
Look, man, 3-minute stall.
It's a big stall.
It's a big stall. That's almost a supermarket at that point. It's a large stall.
Got it. That was better.
Yeah, it was better?
Yeah, I'll pay that one.
Awesome.
Lowe having to take a much more defensive role at the moment than he normally would. He'd like to be the one in control of that Rainmaker.
Yes. And it pains him every second of this game that Lowe doesn't have control of the Rainmakers. It makes him more impatient.
Definitely. And he's not a patient man to begin with. Shockwave struggling to get that pick there.
Geo getting a clutch stop, but unfortunately putting his life on the line. We're seeing this defense come through. This Bloblobber is the only thing holding him, but has been taken out. What happened there? Who managed to take out Bloblobber? Even when he's dead, he is defending the Rainmaker.
Yeah, Lowe doing a really good job. You can see that his favourite mode. He's excellent at this. And so Sydney might actually get a decent push here. They need to go forward, get more picks. Oh, Luke is out of nowhere.
Let's
give it a triple.
Let's go for the triple. We
Definitely got the
love to
assist
see
and
it.
a wipe now.
I love that the beginning of this was him coming from behind the Rainmaker. Surprise!
And there's like perfectly timed turn into that roller.
Followed him by 2. So look, they were trying to set up for the biggest push of their lives and he stopped it there. I think that was a great play coming out from Luce.
It was great.
Lowe being taken out by Goy there. Only one down apiece each team. Who's in control at the moment?
Melbourne still have the Rainmaker at the moment, and they, like we said, they don't need to do too much. They're really just stalling it on that left-hand side.
And
Goy picks up another.
This turf control. Look at Goy go! Oh, another triple coming out from Goy!
Oh my Goy!
So look, he's taking out the first one. He's got the splashdown. That's for the third one, and the direct as well. Beautiful.
And
just
then right back up at the
mid-control.
podium. Couldn't quite get it going. Melbourne only has one player left up the top there. Lowe's finally got his hands on the Rainmaker.
Oh, he's a happy man now.
See what he can do.
Nerez has got to pop this armor, get everyone in front of him, and they've got to try and control the turf and the ink that is just going to fly from these midliners, the Melbourne midliners. Oh, Loose Goose coming through again.
Off the top rope.
Oh, the only thing he likes more than one kill is a second kill. He just feeds off it. It energizes the goose.
Right, because you pop up out of nowhere, and then it's just like
That's
flurries of roller.
The goose is now loose.
And look at Lobster. That's exactly where you want this Rainmaker to be.
This is
it's
it.
the
This is
worst
the
possible
Woolies.
place.
This is the Coles.
Worst possible place for Sydney. This is all they need to do. They just need to stall it out here. They don't even push.
Well, what kind of stall is it?
A market stall. I don't know what you want from me.
I don't know what you...
But this is going to be it. Melbourne's going to take
Just
out
want your love, checkers.
the first match of the Firetail League, as I try and talk over as.
That is literally going to be the end of the game.
Really smart play from Melbourne, stalling it out there. And a huge victory in the...
And maybe even a little upset. I really thought Sydney were going to take it.
Shows what we know. I mean, I picked Sydney to take out the whole...
25 kills from Loose Goose.
Someone's got to get Loose Goose something. I mean, that's out of control.
That is
25.
outrageous.
The goose is loose.
The goose
all over the Firetail League.
He just went all over our stream. He's uncontrollable and he will be on the top of the kills.
I would be surprised if he wasn't. Like, that's a huge effort there.
25 kills. I wonder what the KA is on that. If only there was a way to find out what the KA was.
Well, Rambo Az, we'll be uploading all the stats from tonight's game as soon as we can after this stream. So Loose Goose will be able to log into his profile, see all those kills there, and just go, yeah.
And share that on Twitter.
I did that.
Yeah, that was really good play coming out from Loose. Most of he was helping the team the entire time.
Absolutely.
That
Played
last
his
match,
role to a T.
right? And then he needs to be a second set of aggression to Shock, which he's played perfectly.
Yep.
I think that the Melbourne, they came out with an idea for a comp. Having Lobster on the sploosh didn't quite play out for him, but then they pivoted.
They changed
They
up.
pivoted, and perfect.
You're right. Their ability to think on the fly was very impressive. Oh man, what a day!
I know.
This has been months and months in the making, and it could not have started any better than that. That was amazing Splatoon action.
Absolutely. So, what have we got next? What is next for us?
Next for us, so tomorrow morning, the stream will start from about 10:30 a.m.
AEST.
AEST.
We'll already have stats up from this game as well.
Yep, and you'll be watching.
Firetailevents.com.
Oh yeah, you'll be
That's
watching.
what I'm doing. I was like, what are you? Get the hand away from me.
Don't touch me.
It's a beautiful flame.
So Adelaide taking on Brisbane tomorrow morning.
Yes.
The first game of the doubleheader.
Right.
And they'll be followed by Perth and New Zealand going head to head in the first round of the Firetail League.
They're going to be great games as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
These two teams we watched tonight.
Close as this game.
Yeah, I mean, these two teams we've heard a lot about during preseason. A lot of people picking them to win. And some of the other teams sort of flown under the radar a little bit. So I'm really keen to watch tomorrow. We won't be commentating. We'll be commentated by Gabe and Yeswan.
Yes, that's the plan.
But we will be around. We'll be in chat. We'll be on Twitter. We'll be hanging out with you guys, making sure that you get another quality day of Splatoon action.
That's it. They'll be looking after both streams. Like Checker says, we'll be floating around anyway. But it's important for us to share the commentator love around and just get all the local talent that we have in Australia and just kind of push us higher.
There's a lot of talented commentators
right.
that we've got for you. So they're going to do a fantastic job.
Cool. So between now and then, we'll give you an update on Twitter when the stats are out. You guys can go have a look at breakdown then. I'm going to upload these videos and we will catch you all tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. AEST.
Yep. I'm Checkers.
I'm Rambo Az.
It's been great bringing this to you tonight.
Yeah. And thanks to all of our sponsors for helping us out. Enjoy your night.
Yeah, have a great night. Try and recover from that.
Yeah, I know, right? Whew.